Everyone, and welcome back to If Supr Says It. It's been a while. This is episode 7, and today I am joined by Thomas. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing good. How are you, Seth?
Besides that little hiccup there, I'm doing fine. I know that you wanted to kind of make a statement before we get into the topics of the podcast, so I'll go ahead and let you do that.
All right. As you guys know, I'm Thomas or Tommy or whatever you guys want to call me, Big Dog or the Idiot now. In some people's point of view. But first thing I want to say is that I'm just speaking about my experience in esports, specifically in Siege. As of right now, my life is transitioning away from Siege, and I hope my followers and such can still love me for who I am. Right now, I have no ill will in this podcast. I'm not here to crap talk up my past teams. I'm just giving my life experience in this game. As I said before, I have promised Seth on Twitter multiple times to do a podcast, and I respect him both as a person, both as a friend, and as a brother. We've been through a lot. We fought at each other a lot. We yelled at each other a lot. We tweet at each other a lot. This is basically a promise to him, and sort of a goodbye for now. Even though I've been through a lot in the scene, and so has he. This is just for insights. Like I said, I get nothing competitive wise. I'm not here to get a job. I'm not here to do this in the scene as of right now. Like I said, I'm just stating it. So any CGG or news article for Siege want to say Thomas is retiring for now, because as you know, just because you retire in Siege doesn't mean you always won't come back. I will still comment on people joining teams, games, because no matter where I go, Siege comes with me. I love this game, or loved it. Yeah, I might love it again in the future. I would like to also wish the best for everyone coming into the scene and continuing the scene, and wish this game lives a long time because it made me who I am, no matter the bad times or the good times. I wish I could have had my name in this game, honestly, but never got a chance to play at a major or a minor or win it or obtain a charm. So at the end of this, let's just have fun on this podcast.
Okay. And so I guess in a way, Thomas is kind of retiring, but not necessarily retiring. Still leaving that door open just in case
Yeah.
he
I have a good
decides
job
to
right now,
come
so
back.
I have a good job. Like I think I'm getting paid more than like the bottom average pro league team. So like I'm happy with it, and there's room to grow on the job. It's a real estate mortgage field job, so after a
Yep.
couple years, it's really good money. So, but who wouldn't want to play video games for money? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Exactly. And give me 1 second, because I think
Good.
it's
There's an echo. Yeah.
yeah, but it's not. It's just because my headphones are getting picked up by the mic, so I just need
Okay.
to change the noise suppression there a little bit. Okay, can you say something real quick?
Hello, hello, hello. This is a Coke Zero, and this is a brownie for calorie
Maybe.
loss.
Okay. Say something again.
Hello, hello. My name is Tommy.
Okay, it should be fine now, I think. Okay, so yeah, sorry if you're just listening to this on Spotify or whatever. I'll try to edit it a little bit, so maybe it's not picking up that early echo. Obviously, like I said, I haven't done the podcast in a little bit, so always the scuff adds to the nature of it. So yeah, with that statement from Thomas, I kind of talked to you a little bit about how I thought we could go through this podcast beforehand. And what I kind of want to do is go backwards in your career. So start from the beginning and get up until current day. I know a lot of people are probably interested to hear about Mirage, since that's kind of the most recent thing,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to wait till kind of the middle to end of the podcast. So you've actually, for people that don't know, you've actually been playing since 2017,
On
2018.
PC. On
Yeah.
PC. But I've been always playing since Black Ice on console, PS4 or PS4, yeah.
When you played on console, was playing competitively even something that was on your mind, or is it just like this was fun, you wanted to just have something to do?
So, I mean, for the first year I was playing I wasn't playing just casual, I was playing ranked, but at that time it was secure area. So I was playing secure area a lot. I didn't run into a lot of pros because at the year one, season one, like after that, after they noticed like Xbox had the competitive league, they moved from PS4 to like Xbox. So people bought a different console, like Rams. Like I knew them on PS4, like Rams. I used to play against Bio sometimes in casual, like all that stuff. So it was like it was nice to see them. Also Shuttle, like a lot of pros that were on Xbox were also on PS4 before. So yeah,
I think I remember you in your like very early PC days when I think this was maybe when you were in Challenger League or right before you started, and there was like,
invite quals against Bird University before they got picked up by Mouse.
well, not only that, but it was also like it wasn't FPL, but there was like a 10 man's thing
Yeah,
going on back then,
Hicks made it.
and I just remember that I coined the nickname for you, Thomas without a clue, way back
Yeah.
then.
Oh yeah, because so at that time I forgot who it was. I know Redeemer was on our team in FP or in that 10 man's, and it was Liv was there easily, and we were all on the same team. And then me and you were just roasting each other, or like I don't know what happened. I think I jumped out and killed you, and then you came into the Discord and you were roasting me. And then at that time you were like, "Oh, I'm Mr. 1.6," all that thing, all that stuff. I don't cuss a lot anymore, so and I don't want to cuss there in the podcast. You're like, yeah, I have a one, I'm Mr. 1.6. I played an invite. I was like, yeah,
Facts,
I remember
facts.
this line. I remember this line that I said, and I remember because easily or Liv started laughing, and then that's when me and you like we started our love hate relationship. You were like, I have a 1.6, and I was like, yeah, you have a 1.6 GPA. You're like, are you stupid? I graduated with a master's, 3.8, blah blah blah. And then Liv was dying, and then that's when you're like, are you stupid? And then that was when it was so like those were the days, like those were like the days for me.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, that's like a bygone era of Siege because that time in Siege is where, to be honest, like most people didn't get paid a lot of money. Most people
Yeah,
playing the game were still doing something else. Like nowadays, obviously, if you're a pro player, like that's the only thing you really should have time for if you're taking
yeah,
it seriously is like it's your full-time job.
yeah,
So back then was kind of like in a way like a little bit of the wild wild west. People were working jobs, playing pro league, doing whatever. I know for me, when I qualified for my first invitational on era, I was getting paid $500 a month,
yeah,
and it seems like that's a million years ago, but the crazy thing is that was like 2018. So we've come so far in 4 years that I went from making $500 a month to now I'm a trillionaire. So like,
and you're still 18.
yeah, and I haven't even aged. So nobody, like, how is it even possible?
That is
Um,
crazy.
yeah. So I did just want to kind of, because I know people are probably going to be more interested in the after 2018 era,
Yeah,
but I did want to just kind of touch on you playing in Challenger League. You played on Nomads with nobody
yeah,
else on that team really ever did anything. People know Brainbow. I think people know like Execration, Sour. Like they're guys who are around the community, but you
yeah,
were the only player on that team who ended up kind of going on to better things in a manner of speaking. Did you
yeah. So
take anything away from there, or did you just realize like, yeah, I'm better than these people, I should be on a better team kind of thing?
it's funny because Factor like ended up playing with us, and then like I got dropped because so it was funny because I got dropped from two teams because with all due respect to Factor, like he was a big snake during my team's wise, both teams, whatever. But yeah, I didn't wake up for a CCS tournament, and then Stour was like, "Oh, you didn't wake up for a CCS tournament at that time." He was like, "You didn't wake up for a CCS tournament, blah blah blah. Now we won't get an org." He's like, "You're dropped," and I was crying. I was like, "Dude, this is CL2." And then Achieved and Ba at that time, we were the only team in Challenger League to really beat them, and they were like,
And
that's
this
when
is
they qual.
Execration. This is the Execration team.
Yeah, 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 Nomads. This was a team. I mean, you can look up the stats. I was going crazy against the Chiefs. I was dropping numbers, but so we were the only team to beat them, and they're happy we weren't in playoffs because like we were basically their kryptonite.
Hmm.
Um, so they were like to me like, hey, like, why don't you just be our coach for right now? You know what happens in the game. You see it from a pro level. Honestly, and then that's how I transitioned to there. But I will say later on, like I was sleeping in as a coach. I wasn't. I was an idiot. I was still young at that time. I was hard headed. I thought I knew a lot. I would butt heads a lot. So like, what I took from Nomads and Accelerate was like don't be a freaking idiot. Like you're still young. Like you don't need to be a hardhead. Like these guys are the same age as you. You're not better than them. You got to respect your teammates, and like even though later on I know I'm transitioning myself into the EXG thing. Later on, I got dropped from EXG. I took that with me. But I didn't take it with me right away. It took me like 3 months while I was on 92 Dream Team to actually do it. And when I joined 92 Dream Team, they're in fifth place. That was a team with Rexon, who's now on Sonics. They're a fifth place. They weren't qualifying for the playoffs. They dropped the Y bombs. I got picked up. I was almost going to get contract locked by EXG because I was talking wild on Twitter. And that's why you should never talk wild on Twitter before you get actually released. So that happened. I get picked up. We smoke OC, the best team. The best team. They had dropped Gurmy for playoffs and picked up Factor. Factor had 2 chances to make Pro League that stage and didn't make Pro League. Two
Yeah.
times that CL season. It was funny. So that point, it was we beat OC, and then we played you guys. We beat you guys. And then after we played you guys had beat Rise,
Yeah.
and then that's where everything that's where my career took off.
So before we jump a little too far ahead here, going back and kind of touching on the days of you on Accelerate. So for those who don't know, in a way, Tomas was the first coach of the modern day TSM because Accelerate, this was Achieve's Challenger League team, that eventually became a Pro League team with Pojo. That team became TSM. So Tomas was the first coach of the TSM roster, really.
And it's crazy because if you got I think Achieve talked about it before, but I don't care. I'm saying it. During the time 92 and SQ qualified for Pro League, Achieve was gonna join SSG.
Yeah.
And then
I
didn't
remember
join
scrimming
SSG.
him on SSG,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah, we scrimmed him too. I took a Red Bull that day because, like, remember he had dropped me, so I was like, I'm not getting him on SSG. And
Yeah.
then what the funny part is, I was actually offered a spot back to join, but they didn't tell me they were getting picked up by TSM. So,
Yeah.
and that's another dumb reason when I was still hard headed, and I didn't learn until like when me and Chief started talking again. I could have been on TSM. I mean, Achieve's still one of the longest players from a CL team to a PL team right now. Like, what has it been? Since 2018 November? He's been on that team. Or, like, they qualified for Pro League November
I think
2018,
it
I
would have been,
believe.
I think it honestly was me and Achieved, and obviously I retired.
Yeah. But, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is true. But, like, I'm
But
saying, like, as in, like, not getting relegated and stuff. You have been on the same team for a while, but, like, you
yeah.
you kind of, like, left Pro League and then came back. So, in a way, like, Achieve was quite longer. But you guys have been there. I mean, you've been there since his first day, since the Xbox. So, like,
Yep.
yep.
So I just thought that was interesting that, and I guess this is one question I'd have. When you went into that situation, because obviously the Challenger League team you were on wasn't that great with the Nomads. You like you said, you guys weren't able to even qualify for CL playoffs. And I will say CL back then, especially in that season, was pretty difficult. So it's not like, you can read into that how you want.
Yeah.
But when you said, you maybe weren't taking it as seriously, you probably weren't getting paid that much money.
I
When
was getting paid
you
$200.
$200, exactly, yeah. So like,
$200.
so coaching a pro league team for $200, like how serious are you really taking it?
Oh, okay. No. Sorry, I was getting
Oh,
paid
okay.
$200 on Nomads, but at
Okay.
that time, Accelerate, the guy who used to own Accelerate now owns Elevate. I was getting paid $1,000 while the rest were getting paid 2,000.
Okay. So $1,000 it's nothing to like laugh at, but it's obviously not like livable wage.
Yeah.
When you took that offer to kind of coach them, and you ended up playing, if I remember, I think Accelerate ended up benching somebody in the middle of the season.
Knicks. It was Knicks.
Were you planning on, like, did you think like, okay, maybe I'll just be a coach, or were you just thinking somebody on this team is gonna fuck up and then I can maybe be able to play in pro league? Little gotcha move there. Or
No, it wasn't like that. I know what you're
was it
trying to
just
say.
something to pass the time? Like, were you planning to play eventually? This was something that was interesting to you?
So, like I said, I can consider myself a kid. I'm way more grown up than there. That's like 4 years
Yeah.
ago almost. I was like sleeping at times through scrims, but I would still like I would wake up after, watch the VOD, get the notes out. Like my notes would be like a notepad page. Like I could show you on my phone what I did on like Mirage, what I did on for
Hmm.
90 or LG. Like they would be like it would be like what this guy's doing at this round. What this guy like at that I was like basically an analyst and a coach, but then like honestly, we just needed someone else more than me because like I was like I said, I was more mental because you know this in the beginning of a team, it's more so like how people are emotional to each other, how like mental is like when you start losing, when scrims are going bad, like you're supposed to like when you're in a negative, you're not supposed to keep going in a negative way. You're supposed to take it towards a positive way. So that's basically I was more of a mental coach, and I like a lot of people don't know what happened. So like you said, after the first pro league game, the team came up or like Discord. It wasn't even the team came up. It was team speak. They're like, yo, we want to bench Knicks. I was like, okay, not Knicks from Mirage. Knicks tape from Xbox. He's a different person than Knicks from Mirage. Let's get that straight. Nick's tape, we benched him, and we were trying people out. If you remember, Seth, at that time, Lauren had got dropped from C9.
Yeah.
You and her had tried out. We really wanted you both. So I wasn't among the tryouts at all. We had a list. We were going through you, Lauren. We had other people, if I remember. We tried out Pixel. He was quiet at that time. Um,
There's a
so we
pretty
tried.
funny story to that too. Actually, is
Yeah,
initially so we were on Sonics, obviously, and initially you guys wanted to like pick us
look at
up,
Lauren laughing.
and we weren't going to leave Sonics. Like we even when we scrimmed with you, we were never gonna leave. But
Oh wow.
we told we told the team that you guys had asked us to try out, and that
Yeah.
we said no because like we were going to be loyal to the Sonics, and that was at the time where the Sonics were not in Pro League yet. We ended
Yeah.
up in Pro League the next season,
You guys
but
were
so
Elephant
we
Game
were
before.
right. So we were turning down a Pro League offer as a CL players to stay with Sonics, and we told the team that, and then Nep, who was on our team, went behind our back and contacted I think Bio, and then he told Bio that he heard that they were looking for players and he wanted to try out. So
Yeah.
then Bio told us, hey, I don't know if you know this, but Nep just messaged me saying that he'll try out. So I was like, all right, well, fuck this kid. We're going to try out just to make sure that Nep doesn't get a tryout. We're literally just going to block Nep from trying out. So we tried out with you, and I think it ended up going pretty well.
You know what's
But we
funny
never
though?
intended to actually join your team, which is the funny part.
Well, I mean, whatever it may be, I don't know. Like, I don't remember exactly what happened. But the funny part is because Goddess was or Lauren was contract locked, correct? She from Cloud9, so she couldn't join another pro league team as far as we were told because we saw like everything from the admins and such. But I will say this: it's funny because she got dropped from Cloud9, and we scrimmed with Seth and Lauren against Cloud9, and we won all three maps, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. And we're like, okay, we want this. And then you guys are like, Lauren is contract locked. We're a pair. If we don't go, together, we're not gonna do it. So we're like, all right, that's fine. Nice, Lauren. I just saw your comment, but but like I said, so it went from there, and then at the end, Bio, like, I give props to Bio, even though like one of the reasons I got dropped was being a hardhead with Bio, even though I didn't agree with some of the stuff he said, and he didn't agree with some of the ideas I had. Um, I still respected him because he gave me my shot. He's like, yo, or so Chief gave me the shot becoming a coach as well as Bio, and then Bio was like, yo, listen, Tommy was smoking our pack literally last season in CL. Let's give him a shot.
Hmm.
So when we had Nick's tape, we would lose always to the Sinister team that had Cookies, Pixel, Holiday Nog. We'd always lose to them in scrims, and they had Oasis. So the moment I joined and played Smoke, we never lost a map to them. We smoked them. And then I remember this, even though I love Achieve. He's like, I remember him not saying anything. I was like, Achieve, anything to say? I was like, Matt, you have anything to say? I still call him Achieve, but I was like, you have anything? He's like, do that on game day. I was like, okay. And then from there was history. Like, honestly, like I kind of miss that team. It was all vibes. Like you talk to
Yeah.
Achieve, it was all vibes. Like I wish I wasn't a knucklehead. I probably could have been still on TSM. You never know. Like if I probably just listened and like soaked information instead of being a hardhead at that point in time, who knows?
Yeah, and that's kind of, when you're and it's not something you think about as like a younger person, and this is with anything, not just like in esports.
Yeah.
But you never know like how many opportunities you're gonna get in a lifetime that could amount to something better, right? So
Yeah.
it's always, and it's hard, especially as a younger person, but it's always in your best interest to really think about the things you're doing or saying to people, because you don't want to make the wrong decision. You don't want to burn bridges. You want to keep all your options open. And the earlier you can act maturely, act like a professional, that's going to get you more
Yeah.
opportunities, especially, and this is definitely towards esports. A lot of people in esports are just fucking idiots. They're
Yeah.
immature. They're sheltered. They never had to deal with any hardship in their life. A lot of it's just like spoiled kids who have a sick computer, end up being good at a game.
And their mommy and daddy bought it. They didn't even
Yeah,
pay
and they
for
end
it.
up getting paid a lot of money, so they don't know how to talk to other people. They don't know how to deal with other people. They don't know how to be told no. They don't know how to deal with adversity. If you're somebody who's a younger person, able to do that, able to be mature, able to be a leadership type, that's going to be a huge benefit for you in a career, whether it's in esports or not, to be honest.
Yeah. Uh,
So
just
go
want
ahead.
to reply to Ryfra. You said you would have been dropped for Bolo. So like, if I was still there, because if you guys remember, Crusher was dropped mid Raleigh qualifications for Pojo. So Pojo was the coach. So like, you never know. I probably would have just been in Pojo's place, and Pojo still would have been the coach. Like I said, there's a lot of like you could pick and choose like where I would have been, but you never know what could have went a certain way if you just did something. And my something was if I just kept my head straight. And I tell Chief all the time, I'm like, I probably could have been his teammate still. He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I
And it's
mean,
fun conversations.
it's like you try not to dwell on that stuff. Like if you would have done this here, what would happen?
Yeah,
But it's just always kind of and everybody has it, obviously, the what could have happened, what could have been kind of thing, and we'll never know. Obviously,
yeah,
maybe you could still be on the team. Maybe they would have dropped you. Who knows? But
yeah,
I don't think it's anybody's place to tell you it wouldn't happen, and it's probably not your place to tell them any different. It's just
yeah,
whatever happens. And then so going from there kind of is, I guess this would in a way be your longest standing tenure on a team, really.
yeah.
You ended up joining 92 Dream Team, who eventually become Luminosity. And you guys were a solid Pro League team. Obviously, um, you weren't like a contender necessarily, but you were certainly holding your own in Pro League. And then,
I think we were to a contender if we didn't pick up Factor instead of Pixel. Because with Pixel, we ended the split first place. Even though Pixel, you had to baby him. But if you ask Richie, Richie was like anti Pixel after like he saw him whiff a magazine on
oh yeah, I've heard
BDS
the
at
story. Yeah, I've heard the
DreamHack.
story.
So, and I mean, you could ask Richie or Hyena if they can go back in time, they would change like what happened. LG was pretty much a friendship team. It was just friends that later on caught it back because like we would scrim and there would be certain people who were supposed to be watching and they would not be attending to us and they'd be playing Tarkov or be doing something else. And like I
That was
said,
the you're talking, and he's talking about Virus, who's essentially an OG check stealer coach.
I love Virus, but I mean it happened. I have no ill will. Like I said, I'm just stating
I
facts.
mean, to be honest, that's just the way it was back then. Most of the
Yeah,
coaches didn't do anything. It just
yeah,
was you had a coach because you're supposed to.
yep. And like I said, it was if you ask Richie, if you literally text Richie and show him the text, he'd be like, "Okay, yeah, we would change a lot of things that happened back then." Because like I said, it was a friendship team. Like we didn't even try other people. It was just Hyena picking up Factor, and I was against Factor, and so was other people. And then when I got dropped, you can look at the stats. You had Factor going 111 every other game in Pro League, and Doodle was like also minus 35. So they were both like negative 30, negative 20 and I was like right out under Richie and Hyena. So it was like, I mean, like I said, friendship always prevails in certain situations, and it's not just friendship; it's also money on the line for some people because like they put so much time into this game where like they don't have another plan like ready, and it's not in the thing of if you give your 100%, you shouldn't have a plan. No. You should have a plan because half these people, when they're done with Siege, they don't have a college degree. They don't have, ideas on what to do. So it's like, what are you going to do? You can't stay in the esports scenes for a long time if someone doesn't employ you. Money doesn't come to you right away. Shoot, I got
Hmm.
dropped from Mirage. I wasn't getting money. I was streaming on Twitch making 125 bucks. You think that was going to give me money? No. So I just started working, going into real estate, mortgaging, and stuff like that. So I'm going to see we're going off track, but yeah.
So I'm curious because so you guys got on Luminosity, and this is 2019. You guys got fourth
June
place in
23rd.
pro. Yeah, you guys got fourth place in pro league. I would say you were a solid performer. You were maybe not the best player, but you certainly weren't the worst player on the team.
Hmm.
And then you guys ended up qualifying for the
I qualified for
OGA
Croatia.
pit. Yeah, where you guys actually beat
I wasn't there. I got
yeah,
dropped for
no, I know.
Slideshot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting to is
yeah.
so you guys beat Evil Geniuses, who at the time were, I think this was still the Troy Evil Geniuses.
No, no.
Maybe not.
No. You remember during Raleigh, when everyone, I don't think you were at Raleigh because
I
you
don't
guys
go
didn't
if I
qual.
don't play.
Yeah, exactly. And with no all due respect, I didn't mean like in a way of
No, no,
you
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, you just weren't there because you didn't want to go there, and other people were there. And when you were upstairs at the bar, you would see all of SSG, and you saw Troy there. And I
Hmm.
remember tapping Zeronic. He was smoking a cigarette, and I was like to him, "Hey, that's SSG's new pick." And then that was August 19th, and then after that, like everything happened. TSM picked up Jarvis, SG picked up Troy, and all that stuff. And at that time, it was like a lot of rosters could have happened. People don't realize that. There are some iterations of some TSM players going to Rogue and some Rogue players going to TSM. Like people don't know. There was a lot of things happening when you go to like major lands.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It's even more
Back
crazy.
then,
I
when
think
the
it's more crazier
players,
than now. I think it's more crazier
well,
than what
it
it was now.
100% is because back then the players still had control.
Yeah,
Now nothing happens unless it goes through the orgs. Like,
yeah,
so if you're a player nowadays and you want another player, you could be like, that guy's a really good player, but he's going to be under contract with an org. Your org has to go to that org and be like, we'd like this player. And most of the times you get shut down. Sometimes you have the opportunity. But it's way different now as opposed to then. It was still a little bit of the Wild West, even though there were like big orgs were getting in the game then. It certainly wasn't the level it's at now. And so my main question to you around this area of time is you guys had a good first pro league
hmm
stage. You guys qualified for the OGA pit, but right in between that, they dropped you. And I think
hmm
they picked up Slash.
yep.
And so you never even got to play at the LAN for OGA pit.
Or got paid that money for qualifying.
And it's not like you guys even you still had like a solid pro league performance. Why do you think, or what happened to that team, the friendship team? What happened there where they said you were the one who was going to go in that situation and you kind of missed out on whatever could have happened to that team? Because to be honest, I think history would say after that moment, the team
They
slowly
went from
fell
a top
apart.
4 they went top 4 to bottom 4.
They fell apart, and then
Yeah.
eventually Luminosity left the game.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing with Luminosity, like, we're all friends, right? But the thing is, like, I was always pushing the team to stream. I was, like, most of the time, the most determined one to stream. I was
Mhm.
always pushing people to stream. I was always the one, hey, we should stream. Hey, we should do content. There was only 3 teams in Vegas at that time. It was Rogue, Rec, and us. I was like, we should stream. And at that time, we'll get to this topic later for NAL because like I still have this idea, which I'm gonna write here. But like I said, it fell apart because like orgs want you to push content no matter what. They need some type of ROI. If it's pushing content, people seeing these views, they push an ad, they have sponsors. Hey, pay me for this sponsor. I'm getting 3,500 views on this little clip. Okay, here's 5 grand for this one time, and you keep doing it and keep doing it. Your camera cut off, Seth.
It should
Or
be back.
okay, yeah. So it's like you, we just weren't streaming. And then at that time, I was told I was dropped. And honestly, like I don't want to make this into a religious thing, but I feel like it was good when it happened to me because I feel like my Catholic faith was like, all right, that's fine because I got to spend 6.5 months with my dad day in and day out before he passed away. So like I kind of see it as a good thing.
Hmm.
Even though I think LG was stupid for dropping me, because
Right.
100% I think they're stupid for dropping me. And like
What do you
there's
think went into that decision? Like, why
oh
you?
friends 100%, because the thing is the thing with me, I want my team to be performing on everything at every level. I want people to push content. I want people not just sit around, you know, do whatever they do on their off times, you know what I mean? Um just chill with other people rather than, pushing themselves better. Like I wanted people to grind rank more. I want people to, push themselves more, because we're living in a $1 million house in a
Right.
gated community. We had a security guard 24/7. We
And you
if you
guys
wanted
were there with no land league. Everybody
there
keep that in mind. You guys had the
yeah.
team house and everything, but there was no league or anything.
Yeah, so it's like people needed to just we needed to push, and like I was more so like the guy. I was a hard ass. Like I was on your ass if you not if you messed up, but if you weren't doing it. Like hey, bro, like why aren't you streaming? Hey, bro, let's play ranked. Hey, let's do this. Like, and then I knew when I was dropped, because in the OGA qualifications against Disrupt, I have it in my YouTube clip where like I'm getting hyped and Rexon was the only one getting hyped with me. He's like, bro, you should have just seen what Tommy did. You should have just seen what Tommy did. And it's like, and then at that time I remember, because like when I got dropped, they put me in everyone was in the kitchen. Like, yeah, we're benching you, and we're moving on without you. And I was like, all right, bet. And I had just bought like $150 of groceries, and then this is where a rumor started for some reason. So I call my moderator at the time and friend, one of my best friends now. And then this is when he became my best friend, because he like showed up for me. He lived in Vegas. I was like to him, "Yo, bro, listen, I want to stay in your place," because at that time it was like the next weekend I was going to the workshop, and that
Yeah.
was a workshop with Blarn, Matt, all of them, Zaku, all of them. I was like to him, "Hey, bro, I want to stay at your place. Listen, bro, I just bought $150, $200 worth of groceries. Anything you want, I will give you that, and I will give you money." He's like, "Bro, listen, like if you're not gonna be here for 2 weeks, I'll just take the groceries." And his name is Inverted. So I gave him every grocery, and like there was a watermelon, and I threw the watermelon in the garbage because he didn't want it. They said Tommy took the watermelon with him and flew to North Carolina with it. One of the most dumbest rumors ever. And I was like, dude,
You boarded the
my moderator
airplane
at
with
the
the
time,
watermelon like a baby.
yeah. So I was like to my friend, my best friend, one of my best friends now. I was like to him, Louis, you were there. What did I do with the watermelon? He's like, you threw it over your head and you threw it in the trash can. You're like, I'm breaking it because of rage. I was like, yeah. So exactly what I did, and I was like, it was so stupid. It was like, what kind of rumor are you gonna make? Like they wanted to like basically like just like make these small like rumors and just ruin me, and it just like hurt more. It was like, you already dropped me, and I wasn't the worst performing player. I was pushing you guys. I wasn't being like an idiot 24/7. I wasn't the one staying up to 7 a.m. just playing Tarkov and World of Warcraft or whatever it was. And then it's funny because going back to the thing, when I got dropped, Richie was like in the kitchen when everyone was there. I got dropped, and Richie's like, "Yo, is this conversation done? I want to go play League of Legends." I was like,
Yeah.
"Dude," at that point, I was like, "Dude, did I not matter to you guys?" So
Did
it
so
was crazy.
and I want to ask this because I want to kind of bring it up as we go on. Do you feel like that how you mentioned you push people to do more, like to play more, to stream more, to just seem at least like they're putting in more effort? Do you think that that is kind of what maybe caused a divide with the team? Like they weren't seeing it the same way that you were, and that you were potentially pushing them harder than they wanted to push or they thought needed to be?
I mean, let me just before we start on, I just want to show you the notepad just so you know. Going before we played the OGA pit, and before we played the what was that at the time, USN
Yeah.
Disrupt. I was like, no offense to Virus at the time. I was like to him, "Yo, do you have any notes on him?" He's like, "No. I mean, we scrim them all the time. You should know." So I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna do my own notes." And you can see the date. It says, where is it at? It's right here. Sorry about that. I don't want to take up more of the time, but I'm gonna show it. I had the Okami notes too. I can't show the date because I don't want to show the other names of the notes. But last edited, it says October. Hopefully you guys could see it. I don't know.
Literally
Here,
nobody can see that.
don't care. There. It says
Okay.
October 2019, like right before the game at 6:11 p.m. Eastern time, but Pacific it was 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Um, literally all of DG notes from Villa, from everything. They're leading 4-1, blah blah blah, and that's what I wanted. Like I after the game, I was even though I was so happy, I was like, bro, we need more of this. This is what helped us. Like if you watch the clips back from the DG game, the whole series, I was one of the top performing
So
players.
you
Like
were trying to. So basically, you were trying to say that.
we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. We're not doing
Well,
anything from
from what
scratch.
you're
Dry
showing me
runs.
though, too, is like. So you what you just said and what you believe was a problem was like you're showing me notes, right, on what a team did.
Yeah.
That's the coach a lot of the time. Like obviously players can individually or some teams do like VOD review and stuff. But for the most part, your coach, if you're that kind of team, not every team operates this way, which is why, I'm kind of asking this.
Yeah.
You were kind of blaming the team for what your coach wasn't doing. Right?
Well,
Because you're saying that the team isn't putting in this effort. You need all these notes all the time.
yeah.
But that's like the coach. So shouldn't the conversation probably have been, we need a new coach because this guy's not fucking doing anything?
Well, the thing is like it wasn't more so like I brought it out straightforward. I was just like hinting it. I was like, "Yo, this is what we need more." And then at that time, you got to remember, everyone was friends. We grinded. They grinded 92 without me until I joined. Like they were
Right.
all together. They played that game, which got casted by Kixon and Taro. May God rest Kix's soul. And then everyone had joined up, and it was like, oh, the DZ Blitz Rush and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
they're through thick and thin. But the thing is like the thick part is not over, and the thin part is right now because you're taking this lightly. Like you think you're in the thin, but like we're actually in the thick. Like we need help. Like we need help both strategy wise and gun wise, like fragger wise. And then they
Yeah.
dropped me for Slash. And I think if they dropped someone else for Slash, I think we still would have been a top 14. But like I said, I honestly am happy with when they dropped me. And that's why I said I have no ill will, because I got to spend 6 months before my dad passed away, day in and day out with him. So like,
Right.
thank God, because like if my dad had passed away and I was in Vegas, I probably would not be in a mental good state right now.
Mm-hmm. No, that's in a way like what seemed like, something bad was a little bit of a blessing.
Yeah.
And so moving on past Luminosity, then you kind of have the 2020 year where I believe you essentially make the team of Rent Free. Or
You
I
skipped.
don't.
I was on Senshi, remember? So this is when we beat like the team that was gonna be Envy. I forgot their name. It was like was it Call Out on that team or Fozo? If you look at the thing, you remember like this is when Chala, before he got picked up for TSM. Me and Bio had like made a team. I went to a vacation to Netherlands, Amsterdam, and then I came back and Bob's like, "Bro, we need you back." Like it was me, Mark, Reed. It was me, Mark, Reed, Prod, and Bio. We smoked them, but during this time, Mark and Bio already had Pro League team. Bio joined Rec, and Mark was joining Tempo. So on the last two maps, these guys weren't trying, and I literally slammed my desk and was like, "Dude, you guys are costing me, Reed and Prod jobs. You guys have jobs on the line. We need this." And
Yeah.
then that's when Bio picked it up. Mark picked it up. I even have multiple clips of like Mark giving amazing calls for me to win the rounds. Um, and then that happened, and then three fifths rule messed us up because DG had picked up Reed, and Nyx did. So Nyx did. I talked to Nyx about this, but like Nyx and Retro were on rec and they got dropped, and then I had like not wanted to play with Nyx during the CL teams. When I tried out, I told Retro like I'm going with Shuttle because it
This
was
is
gonna be
nasty, Knicks, right?
yeah. So Nyx
Okay.
Nyx R6 Mirage, and
Yeah.
so like it was so Shuttle was on the team that we beat that was gonna become Envy, like that org Envy, which is now Optic, whatever. Um, so yeah, I was like to Shuttle, we want you and we want Retro. So it's gonna be me, Retro, Reed, Prod, or me, Retro, Reed, and Prod, and Shuttle.
My God, that team sounds absolutely horrible.
Bro,
Jesus Christ. You're
listen.
lucky that team never happened.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
no offense to Senshi, even though I had good times, it probably would have been better than Senshi. But going back to like what I was saying, I love the guys on Senshi. I still talk to them to this day from time to time. The DG happened. DG picked up Nyx. He picked up Retro. He picked up Reed after or Shuttle because Shuttle had dropped 22 kills. Like Shuttle had an amazing clubhouse game when we played him in that series when Abunai had TK'd him and ruined their mood and lost them the game. Anyways, yeah, Shuttle and then it was Reed and then I was like, yo, please Reed, ask them for a trial for me. Like, dude, I know I can be a good pro league player. Um and then he's like, yeah, I'll throw the message around. And then it never happened. And then they pick up Yardy and then it was gonna be me with like prompted, and then Filthy was like, dude, Filthy was on the team that won Challenger League, and Prod had dropped him, or whoever had dropped him from that team. He's like, dude, just join my team. So I was like, all right, bet. So it was me, Benji, Filthy, and we had Abunai and Hitman. Hitman or Abunai was like, dude, I don't want to play anymore. Quit. 24 hours later, said, I want to come back. We were like, no, we don't want him.
Right.
So Yardy had messaged Yardy had messaged what you call it Filthy, and Filthy just came up and messaged me. He's like, dude, we should just drop Hitman and just pick up Richie and Yardy because at this time LG had dropped from the scene.
Yeah. This
And
was
that's
right
when
around when Luminosity left Siege, so
so
their whole
remember
roster are free agents.
remember that team was gonna be Neptunes, Rexton, Yardy, like all of them, like after they had gotten
Yeah.
dropped and all that stuff. And Yardy had that concert clip where he was messing up the Mav wall, and I forgot who was recording him. I think it was Richie. Um, yeah, I don't want to say anything, but Yardy messaged Filthy. He's like, "Dude, you should just pick up me or Rexton and drop Shitman for me."
Well, the
So Filthy,
funniest thing was I actually remember this because they scrimmed with Nep, and Nep was going from playing on the Sonics
that
to that team, and he played he played one scrim with them, and he just like messaged them immediately after the scrim, and he's like, "Sorry guys, I just don't want to play with you guys." And he said
no,
that they were like, he just messaged them. I don't even know if he played with them or if he just read like how they were in their Twitter chat, and he just said he didn't want to play with them, like they were like a bunch of just fucking idiots, and like he just couldn't play with them or something.
It's just so funny, like the time like stamps of everything. And I really love Hitman. I was like to Filthy, I don't really want to drop Hitman. I think he's a good up and coming support player. And then Yari's like, nah, I'm better than shit, man. Drop him. So we dropped him. We played a stage with Richie. He costed us a game versus Razor and them, but luckily, their Moss wasn't working. Even though we gave them an hour to do it, we won that game. And then I think me and Yardi costed the ending against Butters and them. Richie left to join E United. He didn't even try me out. And then that's when he picked up Kansan. And then we had DP Fire and J90. Right?
Yeah.
We dropped Benji. We are like I had a convo with Benji. It was me, Brycer, and Filthy. And Filthy wasn't talking. I was like, hey Benji, no offense, bro. We're just gonna drop you. He's like, get straight to the point, Tommy. I was like, yeah, we're dropping you. He left. We picked up J90 and DP. If there was a screenshot like a month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago of like us on coastline, we were smoking kids. Sweater and Jarvis, we try them out. They tried to take Filthy, whatever. Jarvis gets to try out with Tempo, joins Tempo.
Do you think
Yeah,
it's
but
interesting that you guys were able to drop Ben within like a stage, and he's been on Mirage for 2 years
dude,
now?
you know what's funny? I love Yardy. Listen, I love Yardy, but he was such an an ass to Ben. When we played Razor in them and Ben was losing the 1v1s and 1v2s that were supposed to for him to win on Zofia, Yardy was like, Ben, you are the most shit 1vx player I've ever seen in the middle of the game. And dude,
Yeah.
I was crying. You don't know. I was like, Yardy, like after the game, I was crying of laughing because it was like, I don't know why you would do that. And
Do you
then
think that's potentially why Yardi has a little bit of a hard time sticking on teams too?
I will tell you this. Yardi has changed. When I after that like incident, I had a talk with Yardi. I was like, listen, bro, that shit was funny after, but during the game, I am not accepting that. Like
Right.
you've seen me on stage before. When my team is down, I try to hype them up. I'm like, Yardi, that is unacceptable. I said you will be dropped on the spot if I hear you again with that shit. And then it was funny because I remember that game. Butters just brought it up. Benji had went for the butter spawn peak on Villa downstairs. We knew he would do it.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone
Anybody who
knows
plays
it.
FPL has seen it.
So I was like, Ben, do not go to the right. He's gonna spawn peek that. He's like, I'm feeling myself. He was on IQ. Goes there, gets killed by Butters, and it was just so funny because Yardy would just snap me in the middle of the game. I'm leaving, bro. It was just like, dude, why are you doing that? So so yeah, like I said, so we picked up J90. This is when like he tried out. Remember the Sonics little like you guys had him as a sub. We
Yeah, when
like
J9 was a sub, yeah.
we loved him, and we had DP. So what happened was
You know
he
what's
was going.
crazy? It's kind of off topic.
But
But
yeah, go
so
ahead.
with Iconic, J9, and Lags obviously decided to quit playing. But
hmm
did you know that we and there are some orgs that would not do this, because Iconic, when he was on Sonic, was a really good player.
hmm
We sold him to the Disrupt team for $500,
Yeah.
and
No,
we
I know.
let J9 leave for free.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
know.
two of the best players in the league, and we knew they were good, but we just weren't trying to like fuck them over. That
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, that's just like,
I no offense to Gomfi and Slevin. I think you guys should have kept them, but like whatever happened. I will say this though, like after that happened, J9 had a trial with DG, and I was just like messaging. I forgot his name, the owner of DG, Spleck. I think no, not Spleck. Is it Spleck? Or not Tanner. What's his name?
CGG split,
No, not CGG. Sorry, DG, the owner of it.
cash flow.
Cash flow. I was messaging him. I was like, dude, like with all due respect, like I have a team to run. We need to pick up players or continue with J9. Like you got to tell me if you're picking them up. Like you guys are in pro league, but we're really close to see like to pro league as well. Like we're a top 2 team, and J9 will take us to the limit, like to the top limit. Um, He's like, yeah, we're picking him up. So we picked up Prophecy. You already loved Prophecy, and I was like, dude, I don't really think so. And then Prophecy was actually really good. I really liked his playstyle. I think it was one of the best mechanical players one of the best I played with. I think he was really confident in his aim too. Later on, he retired and became a nurse, and now he's a stockbroker, whatever it is, but or a day trader. And then we had DP, and while DP was streaming, he already hit me up. He's like, I want sweaters. Jarvis just left him, and Sweater does not want to play with a prod in them. I was like, all right, that's fine. Prod, Trip, and I forgot. I think it was Ghost. Yeah, it was Ghost. He's like, yeah, he doesn't want to play with them. I was like, all right, bet. Um, yeah, he already said Prod was just as good, if not better than Sweater. I agree. I think he was
That is
better.
a completely ridiculous statement, but
I think
continue.
I think I think he was on the same level. In some scenarios, he was better because he was really knowledgeable about the game as well. But Sweater was just more of a talker. Prophecy was more so like quiet with a good trigger on the finger. But I will say this that during the DP Fire stream, Yardi and Filthy were like, yeah, we're picking up Sweater. Are you down with it? I'm like, all right, you know what? That's fine. Let's wait until DP is, off his stream and do it. He's like, no, we can tell him to meet the stream. I'm like, no, Yardi, do not do this. That was like the second strike for Yardi. After he was like I never really yelled at people, but that was just dumb what he had did. He went on stream while DP
Yeah,
Fire had 15 viewers.
15. Holy fuck.
DP Fire wasn't big at the time, and he was like, "DP mute real." He's like, "DP mute real quick." He's like, "What? What?" I was like, "DP, like, I do not know why they're trying to have me do this here, but dude, we're just gonna trade you with the team that had Chala in them. I forgot what their name was. Um,
Dog shit.
yeah, what? Yeah, exactly. The child had left them to join TSM. I was like, yeah, we're trading you for that team. And he's like, okay, I don't know why, but like, I mean, it's your guys' choice. He didn't give us really, um,
So what's funny is that DP actually ended up going like nuclear in CL that stage,
yeah.
and then got picked up to Pro League. And
It was
you
a stage
could,
after, stage after, stage after.
yeah, and you could argue DP is better than all of you.
Yeah.
So good
Yeah, I'm
roster
not there,
move
yeah.
there. You kept Yardy and Filthy over DP
Um,
Fire.
I think at that point DP wasn't ready, and I think when he had teamed with Jarvis, I think Jarvis was a good coach when he was playing, but not when he was coaching. We'll get to that point later. Um, in CL, not PL.
Right.
Because DP had became amazing during that time. And he got better mechanically. But I think the roster that we had on Rent Free really was good because it wasn't like that. We all had to fight for something. Sweater was fighting to prove people like he's not just a ranked warrior. I was fighting to prove like I'm not just a small, like I'm not a player that plays for a small period of time. Yardi was playing for, hey, like I deserve to play a pro league game. Filthy was playing for, like I didn't need to get draw from tempo type thing. So we all had a push behind us. And that just kind of like went down after we made Pro League or NAL because like Sweater got banned, Prophecy quit,
You guys think that if Sweater didn't get banned, that Team sticks together?
and Prophecy didn't quit? Yes,
Well,
100%.
Prophecy, I don't think you can really consider Prophecy because he was gone regardless
Yeah,
if he was
no,
going to quit.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I
So
think Sweater, if Sweater doesn't get banned there, because so this roster goes to Xset, right? This becomes Xset, this team. Is that correct?
this team became Xset.
So this team becomes Xset, and when Xset signed you guys, they were under the impression they were getting like your with Sweater.
Yeah, they were getting what was Sweater, and it was like, with no offense to creators, like I said in the beginning of this, I have no ill will against anyone, but we didn't really pick up creators. He was just there, like Filthy was like, I want creators, and it was like we were like we should try people out. We had other people in mind. He was just there, and then that's when was the fall of Xset. Like that was
There's actually a crazy story with creators around this time.
y-
So this
oh
was
yeah,
when
yeah, 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 yeah. You got
so
this.
this
This is
was
your
when
team.
we initially tried out creators and we played the invite qual. We like basically didn't have strats or anything. And it was me, Rexen, Grixer, creators, and Dream.
Hmm.
And after we played that, uh, Richie basically said that he didn't want to play with creators because creators as an entry was too baity.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
and
Rexon was
then
right.
and Grixer didn't want to play with Dream because at the time, now I do think Dream has gotten way better, but at the time, Dream
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 has
had a
gotten better. Yeah.
well, Dream also had like a reputation at that time of being like a scrim player and not as
Yeah,
good
yeah.
in matches. And now obviously like Dream is a very good player now, and I think he's like overcome a little bit of that, but like basically Grixer thought at the time Dream was a scrim player, didn't want to play with him. So then it was me, Grixer, and Richie, and so we had to figure out the other two players. So me and Grixer were 100% on Sonics. That was like we were like the duo, and Grixer's now the captain of Sonics. But like, so me and Grixer were like the two, and obviously we wanted Richie. We know Richie's really good, but we were trying to think in like the
Richie's
term
a
of
bitter.
the whole team. Like we needed a team. So I messaged creators, and I was like, "Listen, Richie doesn't want to play with you. If you want to scrim with us, we could try out like other people with me, you, and Pablo, and just see how it goes. Like we're not committing to anything, but we got to see like what it looks like because we didn't have players basically." And creators goes, he didn't really want to join without Richie, and he wants to play with Dream. And I said, Dream's not going to be on the team because Pablo doesn't want to play with Dream, and me and Pablo were the two. Like me and Pablo were 100%. So if Pablo didn't want somebody, they weren't going to be on the team. And I was riding with Pablo right there. It's like my ride or die in that moment. And so I told Tim, I was like, Dream's not going to happen. Pablo doesn't want to play with him. And Tim goes, he goes, I don't think I want to. I think I'm just going to end up joining Xset then. I don't want to play with Grixer over Dream. And so he passed on playing with Pablo because he couldn't play with Dream, and then obviously he ended up joining you guys.
Yeah, it was more so just like him tagging along Filthy, and Filthy just being like, I want to pick up creators. I know what he has in his mind. Like, and I was like, I do not, like I said, I have no ill will against anyone, but I'm just going to speak the truth because I have nothing to lose. Like, if you don't speak the truth, you don't have a backbone. Um, I was like, I don't want Tempo. I don't want anyone from Tempo. We had also tried out Mark, and I was like, I don't want the Tempo playstyle. Tempo playstyle did nothing. We would have beat Tempo if we went to relegations, but like, Tempo had fallen apart, and we just got auto promoted because we had one CL.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want anyone from Tempo, and it was just like a whole argument. And then it was like I don't want Mark. We tried out MVK, horrible. No offense, but he hadn't played the game in like 3 months, 4 months. Like
Mhm.
he wasn't just he just didn't know what a Malusi what was at the time. So and then he blamed it on Thomas and Adam yelling. No, bro, you just didn't know how to shoot. You just didn't know how to play against a Malusi. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Um, and then it was just like it was just a weird situation. Then he was just like tagged along, and then we saved Mirage the first stage. The reason why Mirage had the best first stage at that point because Butters was gonna join Mirage instead of Hot and Cold. Yardy, and this is when I was just like about Yardy. I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like thinking about it, like what you're doing, Tommy. Like, what are you doing listening to him? Because DZ had dropped Han Cold. That was like the best.
Right,
Like
yeah.
you remember like the best. Like it wasn't like I'm not saying it was the best move for them because they had picked up NJR over Han Cold. It was more so just like the best way to handle roster move because it would happen like that. No one knew NJ got bought out and DZ had dropped whatever. And Christian says no, Han would have joined them. Trust me, bro. Xset money, we probably would have had Han for 10 years with the Xset money. Xset had money. Like if we had offered Han 10K over the money he was getting paid stage 1 Mirage, I'm telling you, he would have taken the stage, he would have took Xset deal and we probably would have built Xset around Han. But Yardy was like, I'm not playing with Dog and Me. I don't want to play with Dog and Me. He's bad. Meh, meh, meh. And then
So you're telling me in a 6-month period, Yardy had you drop DP Fire, who ended up getting second at the major, and then he also had you. He himself said he would not play with Hot and Cold. Yardy would not play with Hot and Cold.
I mean, like no offense, DNA. Like Xset has money. Like I love Xset. And that's gonna be another point. Like I think one of the best orcs I've played with was Xset. So like
Yeah.
to say they don't have money, let's just say.
I will just say this. Obviously, I am a general manager, so there are certain things I can't say anymore. But
yes, Han got a disrupt offer too.
Xset are definitely notorious for putting the money where their mouth is.
Yes,
if they think you are a good player, if they want you, they will pay up to get you. That's kind of what they did with Kino and Yogg. So if it was an option for them to get Hot and Cold, and the team goes to Xset and says, "Listen, this guy, he goes to majors. He's coming from a great foundation. This is a player you build your team around." Xset get that player.
Yeah. No,
especially because the teams you're comparing it to, you said Disrupt and Mirage. Honestly, I think going into that season, people would have thought your team was better than Mirage and Disrupt.
But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and like I feel like there's a power above, and I feel like God helped out Han because like Mirage was a stepping stone for him. No matter what anyone says, Mirage was like a stepping stone. Like he just stepped.
Oh,
like
100%, yeah.
Like
he signed a 1-stage contract.
He did not play the role he played on DZ, and he flowered and blossomed into the role that he plays now. And like obviously, like stats fell off and anything, but that whole year he was MVP for the whole year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or if it was Grix. I don't know.
I think he won. He won MVP of NAL last year, yeah, for the whole year.
Yeah, hindsight is yes. Okay, Yardy, I agree. Hindsight is ridiculous, but when you look back on it,
it's not ridiculous to me. It's not even ridiculous. Because I will just be flat out and say that I considered offering Hot and Cold, and we already had 4 people. I was just going to drop somebody for him.
Yeah.
Because I care about winning. Like, obviously, I'm glad I did it, and I became friends with the guys here and everything. But I'm friends with winning over everything else. Your friendship with me will never get in the way of what I think is going to be the best decision for the betterment of the team. That's just how I am as a person. Call me emotionless. I don't give a fuck. We were considering offering Houghton. So, like, you guys as a team of Tomas, Yardy,
creators
and Filthy, you 4, accolade-wise, compared to Houghton, is like nothing. So you guys saying, "Wait, I'm Yarny. I want to play with Hatton. I'm a 0-time Pro League
So
player,"
listen,
is fucking ridiculous.
I don't want to roast Yardy because like I'm not here to roast Yardy. I love Yardy. I think Yardy is one of my best friends. If you think so or not, but like I said, it's like what like I trusted Yardy with every CL move because he knew like what players were good, and I should have trusted Yardy with Pro League moves during XSET, and I just didn't because of like thinking about what could have happened because like that's when like my thought process like kind of stunk. But I will say like to DNA, you gotta remember this. NVK came off a hot stage, was making more money than half the scene. So just gonna close it off on that. So there, people like I'm sorry, XSET is, and I will put everything on it. I don't swear to God anymore because like I don't swear anything, but like promise to God or whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but I will put my money where my mouth is and talk about XSET with respect because they were the number one org to tell me if you do this, we'll give you this. If you do that, you will give you that. They show respect to their players, and I've never seen that sort of respect through LG, through Accelerate, through any other org, and any other org contracts that I've seen that were offered to us. So and we're gonna get to the XSET part soon because XSET and Seth knows this. Like Seth knows a lot about XSET because like he hears a lot from the Valorant scene, from any scene because obviously you're general manager now, so you have talks with probably even XSET. So to tell anyone that like XSET didn't have money, XSET had money. XSET still has money, and XSET uses that money to do amazing things with. And I mean, they're one of the most growing esports orgs in the scene. So you can shit talk XSET all you want, it
Yeah.
won't get anywhere.
I mean, I don't think anybody doubts XSET's commitment to the games they're in.
Yeah.
But getting back to the XSET roster, what do you think goes wrong there? Because if we're just being straight up, the team was horrible,
Oh,
and
100%.
and eventually they ended up dropping you, or
So
I
that
mean,
was after.
they end up dropping everybody really. But like, what was it like on XSET being with everybody there and assembling this roster?
Stage one, I should have just gave Yardi the roster moves. But the thing is, it's like so it was messed up from the start. No offense to Brycer, he became a check stealer during XSET. Like he wasn't doing as much. He was paying someone else to do his work, and it was like kind of weird. It was just like so it was like I didn't want to have him as a coach after stage two, and then also like during stage one, like no, like I always say no offense, but no offense to Butters, he didn't know how to roam. Like he didn't even know how to play. Like we would put him on roam, and he'd get wall banged. Like yeah, like I love you, Butters. You're probably one of the nicest teammates, but you were getting wall bang. It's like he didn't know how to like play within the range of being on the loose, and like we didn't have any loose players. Tim was passive, Filthy was passive, Yardi was passive in his roles because he had to be. I was like passive aggressive or the first one dead because I had to initiate something because nothing's happening, and it's like we just had everything messed up, and then we would had arguments, we would had people like it was weird. And then stage two happened, we were going off a roster change with Butters for Razor, even though I
Yeah.
think we should have changed two things. And we picked up Jarvis, and that's where everything went bad. It was like at one, like I love XSET, I love the org, but like our players was just like it was a weird environment. Like
If I
eh,
remember correctly, sorry to interrupt because we'll get back to where you're at.
good.
Because obviously people tell me things. So like I remember after stage one, I had heard that Filthy was gone, and that people didn't want to play with Filthy. He was like super toxic. I think he was just like a complete dickhead to Butters specifically, I guess. And then just like randomly, literally the last day of the season, all of a sudden it's like, no, Butters is gone. We're gonna keep Filthy. What happened there? Like, because I had been hearing, and I won't mention people, but literally people on your team told me that Filthy was going to be dropped at the end of the
Oh
season.
yeah, no,
And this was like
Filthy.
halfway through the season, so this was something you guys were thinking about like basically the whole time. And
Oh
then
no,
all of a
Filthy was dropped.
sudden,
Filthy was dropped. 100% Filthy was dropped.
yeah,
It was just like we had a long talk during the night. And it was just in my wrong a lot. I feel like I shouldn't have dropped Filthy. I feel like I should have dropped Creators and Butters because I feel like, and and I'm not gonna keep saying no with no offense, because like everyone knows I'm not speaking of ill will, and I'm not trying to gain anything of this. Seth, you're not paying me. I'm
No
just talking the
offense,
truth.
yeah, and I also don't like saying no offense anyway, because like if you're saying your truth or what your opinion is, if people take offense of it, like fuck off. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's my opinion. If you take
Um.
offense to my opinion, I just don't give a
I
shit.
I feel like Butters with I still love Butters. And I still talk to Filth or creators talk time to time. But I feel like when creators join, I feel like Filthy switched his motive, and more so instead of us playing with a purpose and trying to win, it was more so just playing to for that check, and that check was nice. But like I didn't want to just play for a salary. I wanted to play for all the money, because when you get to the majors or minors or whatever it may be, lands, that's where the money is. It's like you're playing your video game that you love, and you're playing the money. And then obviously when a team wins like a major, or when they have major shows or like show ups, when a skin comes out, you buy their skin, you show support, there's more traction. So going back to there, um I feel like if I can go back in time, I would be like, okay, creators and Butters. But at that time, I was like, yeah, creators, we really want you have you as a star player. And looking back at it, is like it's just, to me right now it doesn't make sense. But like I was just like,
I
it
will
was a lot of
say Tim was coming off of Tempo Storm, where they were horrible, but he stood out statistically. And I think a lot of people thought that Tim was like a very good player on a bad team, and that he
yeah.
would being on a better team or with better players would help him. And
And you
and
already
and no offense to Tim, because Tim's a really nice guy. I think the truth is that being on that bad team with a bunch of shitters made him look better, because he was the only guy that
yeah,
could shoot straight.
yeah. And then what you would call it? You already had a list, and it was actually a really good list of people. If you look at it now, it's all pro league players now. Because I'm telling you, you already had a knack to look for talent. It's just like at that time, like,
Just not hot and cold or DP fire.
well, yeah, because after I had that third talk with Yardi, and I was like, yo, Yardi, like that, like it was just like you shouldn't do, like that's not how the way we should run a team. It shouldn't be like this way or the highway. And he kind of understood what I meant, and that's why I think like when he joined Beast Coast, that's why I like believe like he changed, because like I trust his word. Yardi had Razor on the list. He had Forest. He had Eska and Spirits and
Well, Eska's
Wimpy.
fucking. Let me stop
And
you real
hold on,
quick.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Before,
Eska is
okay,
legitimately fucking horrible.
okay. Whoa, 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 whoa! Tommy, when did you start? But no,
Okay.
no. But
I have so many stats that can prove without unequivocally, without a doubt, that Eska is among the 3 worst players in Pro League, and has been among the 3 worst players in Pro League since he's been in Pro League. Him and Melted are down there, and the just absolute dog shit, diaper ass, just players that somehow they've convinced like a little the little people out there, a couple people, that they're decent. These motherfuckers wouldn't get. I've got a restraining order. No shitters allowed within the 100 yards of this house. If they come on my block, I get Melted and Eska escorted by the fucking police.
what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. We had the list. Damn it, Seth, you got me messed up. No, but we had the list, and you already had a knack for talent. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're all in pro league now. I mean, every player that like we had on the rent free roster, I will. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. Wimpy, we offered him 3 times. 2 times when we were on rent free to join, and he said no, no, and then third time on X, and he still said no. So like we had him a lot of times on the what you would call it, like the list. And one of the best coaches I've ever played with. He doesn't coach the game anymore because he actually has an amazing job that pays like almost 12K salary a month. Like amazing job.
Trillions.
Never swim alone. He was one of the best coaches. He helped Sweater like become a better player. He helped me. He helped Yardy. Like he actually had a knack of knowledge. Like he had everything. Like I remember Sweater like the first day Sweater joined our team and Swim was there, and Swim told him, "Hey Sweater, like you're not supposed to talk like that. It's not respectful." He's like, "Shut up! Don't talk to me, retard." And Never Swim Alone. He's like to him, listen, bro, you don't scare me. And then later on during RF, you would see Sweater in Discord with him early. Like he would be first one. He'd be there because like Sweater knew like Swim wasn't there to hurt him or hurt his career. He was there to actually help him benefit his career. Um, but yeah, so we had a lot of people on the list. and then unfortunately we just I didn't listen to Yardi. Um, and then I didn't listen to my inner self and just go with the two people. And then I feel like I will take a lot of blame. And this is like an apology to Marco and to Xset. Like, you guys had a lot of bad rep the season before, not season three, stage three. That is not my fault. But stage one, stage two, that is a lot on me. If I just was more so open and not like being like ran over and not trusting my gut, I feel like a lot of things could have happened differently. But I'm happy that you guys have picked up a new squad and are attending pretty much every major since then, and now pretty much invite, and you guys deserve that. um
So 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 in your mind, you still would have kept Filthy, even though he's like obviously has gotten a reputation of being extremely kind of toxic. Is that
so I think with the iteration of that team, and I think during stage two, um when Razor joined, it wasn't like us trying to even get better. It was just like people were forcing him to play sides. Like me and Yardi were just trying to win, and the rest, Filthy and Co. Because Filthy and Tim and Co. They were just like,
yeah?
Drew Spark wasn't there. Drew Spark wasn't there, but he was there virtually on the internet because
So
he
is
was
he
in
your
England.
coach?
He was our analyst, and Jarvis was the coach.
So
Drew
okay, so
Drew would
real
just
quick, did
go ahead.
you have Drew during stage one?
No, he was on SSG. Remember, he trialed for SSG that stage.
So because my question would be is like if you're making roster change, especially two roster changes, whatever it may be, is there nobody else besides
It
you
was it
making
was
the changes? Like
it was
who's
that's the thing. We had dropped Brycer because Creators was like, I'm not playing with Brycer. It's either me or Creators, and we were just like brain dead and blinded from the fact that Creators was so good. But like, looking back on it, we shouldn't have trusted him, and we should have dropped Brycer, but we should have picked up someone like Call Out for the spot. And then at that time, some players on the team wanted to pick up not even Call Out; they wanted to pick up Ken's, which I respected Ken's, but I don't think he was a strategic coach, and I don't think we needed a mental coach. And then, like I said, it was just like, oh, let's pick up Jarvis, and then Jarvis liked Drew Spark, and it was like, yeah, he should like Drew Spark. Drew Spark does a lot of amazing things. Drew Spark was our initial analyst for Rent Free, and then when Richie went to E United, Drew Spark went with him. So we had two people from Rent Free on E United,
yeah?
and oh yeah, basically what I was saying is it's like Rice was basically the face of the coach, but the real coach was the analyst. That's why Never Swim Alone and Drew Spark were amazing at their job, and that's why Drew Spark now is just like Joe Bro. He's the head of like the analyst work at Xset, and Joe Bro's the head of analyst work at SQ. Um, but yeah, it was kind of a weird situation, and it just took a weird turn. And like when Razor joined, Razor automatically like he had to play sides. Like people like Drew Spark would be waiting for us on TeamSpeak, and our coach would get there at 12:30. We're supposed to start at 12, and he's hungry, so they'd walk to the Burger King or
Is this
Wendy's.
Jarvis?
Yeah, they would walk to the Burger King or Wendy's because I was like to them, "No, we're not taking my car. I'm literally ready to scrim." He's like, "No, we should have breakfast." And we'd have like 8-hour dry runs that we're late to. We'd have scrim. It's
Eight
like
hour dry runs.
we had a lot of dry runs even though we're late almost every day.
What are
Um
you dry running for that much?
Listen, like I said, it was a lot of dumb things. I think, like I said, that's why I really apologize to Xset, because like Xset lost a lot of money on a stage one and stage two. So like I really like I feel bad for Xset, and that's why like if they watch this video, like they see me not disrespecting them at all because they're one of the top orgs right now, and I mean they were helping us no matter what. We were literally shit. We were 9th, 10th place
I
with
don't think
beat.
the Sonics dry run for 8 hours over the course of 2 years. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, listen, that's fine. I mean, you guys like, and I remember this because I remember you told me I was a tourist. Remember that interview we did, me, you, and Gia, before
Oh,
the
I
NEL
told you
started?
you were a tourist. You were just
Yeah,
visiting
not
pro league.
not terrorist. Relax, a tourist.
Tourist. That's what I
Tourist.
said.
Relax, please.
Yeah, you were just visiting pro league.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you weren't wrong. It's just like I kind of became like when I transitioned to rent free to Xset, and our players didn't respect me as much, except for like Yardi. Um, it was like I kind of lost my touch on the team, my voice, and then that's when I started like it was playing with my mental a lot. Um, yeah, and then there'd be times like when the coach, I mean, Yardi can tell you this in the chat right now, like our coach wanted me gone, and then we ended up dropping Yardy the next day, which I do like. Yardy, listen, I love you, bro, but like I said, Yardy was in the middle of matches saying, "What are you doing? We should have lost. You guys suck." So I was like, bro, I
Well,
don't want that.
okay, so that may be true, but
That
was
it was
Filthy
true.
not doing the same thing?
That was towards the end. That was towards the end. After Yardy said that, I was like, Yardy, you should, we're not gonna like that. And I was like to Drew Spark, I messaged him. I was like, yeah, I don't want to continue with Yardy right now because that shit was just annoying. So we went without Yardy, and I told, like I said, I respected every decision the org made because I feel like I didn't step up to the plate, and then, like I said, I lost my touch the moment Jarvis joined. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. And then we went from there. I get dropped, or yeah, I get dropped. I take Yardy to the airport, and then Yardy, you could just hear Yardy, like, you could just feel it in his grisling teeth, and he's like he hated me. I was like, yeah, Yardy, I'm recording a TikTok right now. I'm gonna like have like the sound "See You Again, my friend," or when I see you again by Charlie Puth. And you could just see him like fake smiling, like, the chat smile. You could just see him like smile like that. It was just like so funny. And then we reacquainted, and then he was like, yeah, like, that team was just like, the mental was gone. Like, people weren't really truthful with the org. Like, and then I heard stories during stage 3 that like the coach would be drawing during the scrim. So it's like,
Jarvis?
yeah, like, there's a lot of instances where the coach, like, this is when I was on Mirage when I got picked up, and like, he, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of the issues that teams said I had, it was just like, you know, that kept on going on, and just like how recently, the team that I left is still going on.
So,
But I will say this: when I got dropped, Marco was talking to me, and like I can hear his sadness in his voice because like he really liked me. Like, if you see Xset during that time, the person that was doing most of the content on the team was me. It was like,
yeah.
and that goes back to like my proof of me pushing content. They said, "Hey, we want to day in your life. We're gonna do you first, and then do Yardy, and then whatever happens, like with content, we want you to be speaking. We want you to do this, house tour, whatever it may be. We want you because you actually talk." And I was streaming a lot. Like, like I'm telling you, like, when I join an org, I want that org to have a put, like, something behind them saying like, all right, yo, this player is streaming. Like, he's not just a player. Yo, he's bringing us views, he's bringing us sponsorships, he's bringing us this and that, because you need that. And like, an org isn't going to just shit money out of nowhere. It's like they have to make their money from some place. So yeah.
So,
Marco, when he dropped me,
yeah.
sorry to cut you off. Once
No,
once
you're
again, let me
good.
just finish this. Marco, was really sad when he dropped me, and I respected him. Um, and then I will say, I'm gonna wait until you talk about when I joined Mirage, but
Yeah.
like, I respected Marco so much because like he helped me transition. Like, I'm telling you, he paid from A to Z on my expenses. If I needed a place to stay, in Vegas until they left, and then I got back home to the home in Vegas, and no one was there. It's like they dropped me and left. Like, it felt like that was another, like, it was like another LG point 2.0, where it's like, it was like I meant nothing to them.
Yeah.
Towards the players, not the org. Towards the players, not the org. So Marco paid for my flight. He paid for my baggage. He paid for, my transportation of whatever I needed. Like I did not lose a dime transitioning from my pro life to my normal life, and then back to whatever it may be. So, like I said, Xset is amazing.
Well, I think
So
that's one thing that a lot of people should be careful of in esports. Um, Whether you've been in it for a while or you're just getting into it.
yeah,
Like, you have to be able to separate the business aspect of it from the friend aspect. Is like, when you're on a team, normally, like, maybe not in the case of XSAT, the people on the team are going to show you like respect. They're going to be nice to you. They're going to be friendly with you. And in this case, you're literally living with them.
yeah,
But are you, like, you can't really know that they're your friend. Like, you're on a team with them. It's a business. So if they deem you no longer worthy of being on the team and they want to move on from you, that could just be the end of the business agreement,
yeah,
and people disappear out of your life. They're no longer as friendly with you. it sucks because maybe you thought you had friendships with people, maybe you
Yeah.
thought that they were more loyal to you, but the truth is people, for the most part, they're going to be loyal to themselves. They're going
Yeah.
to be, they're more than happy to make it work with you when they needed to because you were helping them with something. But when you're no longer helping with them something, most people aren't going to give a fuck about you. They
Yeah.
want what's best for them, and you have to be able to kind of differentiate, the friendships from the business side of it. And
And yeah, that is true.
and what I was going to say is, like, it seems to me this exit roster for you was like you were the person in charge of it, you're the captain, you're like the leader. So this is the first time really that you have the responsibility of the team. Like everything.
I was the leader, but the moment creating, like I said, the moment creators joined, he didn't want me as leader. And no matter what he says, like I'm not gonna believe him because he tried to say no, that's not how it's supposed to go. But you already saw with his own eyes, like I was gonna do a whole different thing. I didn't want creators. He knew I didn't want him. Um, but it was always, oh, these two people want to save. They wanted to save their jobs. Like I'm gonna tell you, two people wanted to save their jobs. They wanted to. It wasn't we're playing for a win. We were playing for this check. There's
Well,
two
that's
different
what I
things.
was going to
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
because I've said this before as well. Is teams need leadership. Obviously, if you're not the leader and somebody else is the leader and they're not a leader, then the team doesn't have a direction. It could be
yeah,
the coach, it could be a player, it could be anything. Teams have to have a leader, somebody who is the voice of the team, or at least somebody they can look to when they need answers. And it sounds like on this team, and this does happen, especially on bad teams, people are more concerned with forming alliances and plotting, and I
mhm,
think this is honestly Mirage a little bit, than figuring out the issue. Rather than focusing on what's wrong, how do we fix this, what can we do to improve, how can we help this player be better, change roles, whatever it may be, they're focused on, I need the numbers so I can drop this player and they can't drop me. They create a
yeah,
divide on the team instead of working to correct the issue. Instead of working to improve, they're working to divide the team. And that's a maturity thing, and that just comes down to a team having a leader. Because if you have somebody on your team, or if you fuck with that guy, you know you're on the next fucking bus out of there. People act way differently when they know there's somebody calling the shots.
yeah,
If they
and
know
yeah,
that people on the team don't have that much say, if they know that they don't have the ear of whoever matters, then they're going to be a lot more brave and start going clicky, trying to just make little maneuvers and plot. Rather than be a team that's trying to win, they're trying to be a team that's playing to survive. And that doesn't make fucking sense, because everybody who plays comp should be playing to win. You shouldn't be playing just to have your fucking job. You
yeah.
just want to be losing every fucking game? Like, what's the point then?
Like I said, everyone has their different opinions, but that's my POV from from the player perspective of that roster. And I mean, it's like you said, it's like people just played for a check, and I mean, to say no one didn't, like, is just complete BS. And it's just funny to think of because like a lot of things could have happened differently, but it's when you have a knife pointed to your back 24/7 and you're telling people, "Hey, that's not what we should do." Because we tried to do the Temple style. What did Temple achieve? Nothing. Temple achieved literally dirt.
This is what you're referring to with Jarvis as head coach,
Well,
who's
no,
coming from Tempo.
even before with
Oh, and
creators,
Tim, and
and
Tim.
like the meta was not a Tempo meta. The
Well,
meta right,
we actually had the joke that Tempo Storm was fucking horrible. Everybody knew it. You took two people from Tempo Storm, then you added Butters and Tim with Filthy, so 3/5 of your roster
it
was
was
Tempo
Tempo.
Storm,
Yeah,
and then you added fucking Jarvis as the coach who was from Tempo. So you
yeah,
just rebuilt some dog shit
Tempo.
team.
Yeah,
You
and
just
that's what
literally
and
built up a dog shit team again.
and that's what I didn't want from the moment we lost Sweater. And like I said, that's when everything was falling apart, and it was just like it was a forced move to have certain people on the team, and it was not something that I wanted, but You know, it's like it was like I don't want to lose this team. Like we were gonna. People were like, it's either this or I'm not playing. Like it was like it was stupid. It was dumb. And I'm telling you, those players that have done that, they look back at it and said, I wish we had listened to Thomas, or I wish we haven't done that. But we just moved on. And, and like Butters, I feel like Butters was kind of, I felt bad for Butters because I won't say who messaged him, but the moment he joined XSET, even though he was somewhat good, um, but he just kept getting wall banged. Someone had messaged him. I won't say the name. Someone had messaged him and said, "I hope your confidence is good," or like, "I see you not playing good." That's literally right when we picked him up, and he messaged Yardy. Butters messaged Yardy, and Yardy messaged me. He's like, "Dude, this guy's telling him about his confidence. Like he's getting him. He is getting him." Like to be unconfident, bro. And I literally had a talk with him. I was like, dude, like you're not supposed to do that. Like that is not your job to right away say you're not confident, especially right when you pick them up. Like
Yardy, who is on that team, is saying it's filthy.
I could
Saying
not
that
neither confirm
filthy.
nor deny,
So
but
filthy, who has already gotten a reputation as a little bit of maybe toxic, is just trying to fucking shit on Butters. So
but
right when you pick him up.
but like I said, I think I 100% believe Filthy has changed from that moment to what he is now. Because like me and him have had like long conversations on FaceTime and Discord, and we like if I hadn't quit the game, I probably would be on whatever the team is called now, which was RF.
Dog
But
shit.
but what you call it? Yeah, it was more so that, and then I mean, Filthy owned up to his mistakes. Filthy apologized to me, but apology, like I said, apology doesn't change anything. But it like if you can't forgive someone, how are you going to be forgiven if you have put someone in a wrong before, or like I said, you're supposed to accept it and move on. You might not have the same like relationship as before, but I could tell you like right now, like my relationship with Filthy is getting better than what it was after Xset. Because like I'm telling you, if you were outside when we played Xset and you saw what I was doing to them, and you saw how creators was like mad tight when like I had beat them when I was on Mirage, it was literally I was that's just how it is. But like I said, I think out of that roster, I'm still the most closest with it goes Yardy, Filthy, Butters, and then Tim out of the stage one free roster. So like I still talk to them here and there.
Yeah.
Not as much to Tim. Not because of anything. It's just because like I just we just have nothing in common anymore. It's like it's just life. Filthy, I talk to him literally every other 2 days, 3 days. Yardy, I talk to every day. Like he literally tells me whatever's happening in the scene, and I'm like, dude, that's nice, but it's like, what am I gonna do with it? Um, and then obviously with Butters, it's like here and there. Butters literally has a sugar mommy. It's like life is so unfair. I don't have a girlfriend. This guy's getting paid to live like in a hotel every other day. Like I listen. I don't care what you're about to say, Seth. It is not fair.
Just don't
Moving
know
on.
what that has to do with anything. But
Whatever.
okay. Well, I think this is a good time to move on to what probably everybody here is maybe interested in. And that's because this is still part of the same team, I think. Well, same staff. And that is Mirage.
Yeah.
So following Xset, you join Mirage. And you guys do, I mean, you do great for Mirage standards. You guys get 6th place. And the roster was you, Loading, Dream, Nyx, and Benji fucking Currency. And you only last one more stage. You play that stage, and then the next year in 2022.
Hold up 1 second. I gotta get my notepad out.
Okay, sure. And
Okay.
I'll just talk to fill the time. But you move into 2022, and then you
Yeah.
get 10th place, last place for those who aren't that aware, and then you end up getting dropped. And to me, and I think to a lot of people, Mirage are the most interesting of this. Because I
Okay.
think we all know Xset are a really good organization. It seems like they treat the players fairly, at least.
Yeah.
Mirage, this is me speaking from my past as a player, not necessarily as a general manager. I have heard nothing but bad things about Mirage from a player experience. And then I have my own opinions, which I'm going to share on just the general way of their team. So I'm curious, like, what what was your experiences on Mirage? Because if I remember, they wanted to drop you after stage 3 because you literally DM'd me and I was like, that doesn't fucking sound right. You got to go to like management and tell these
Oh
fucking
yeah,
guys
yeah.
like. So like what?
We'll get. Let's
Yeah.
start
So
off with like
walk
when
us through it. Let's walk us through it. And so you join Mirage after Exit. What's going on?
So when I joined Mirage after Exit, like, you know, I'm gonna say something. It might hurt some people or it might hurt the org, but like I respected the org. Like, the guy, he talked to me. He really wanted me on board. He was really respectable. I didn't have as much issues as the past guys because you got to remember, I joined stage 3 when a lot of things were transitioning. Pay wise was getting better for the team. A lot of stuff was getting better financial wise because like whatever happened before, I will not say what happened. I know exactly what happened, but that is not my place to talk about it because I was not there for stage 1 and not there for stage 3, or stage 2. I'm sorry, I was there for stage 3. I will say, like, I was really like respected by the guy. I think when I joined that team, to sit there and say that team was 100%, no. That team was a lot in shambles. There was going to be when I got told, so when I was getting a transition from Exet to Mirage, um, I was told that there was going to be two other roster changes. It was going to be like 3/5 mood deciding who stays. And I'm not gonna say who told me this. I'm not like I'm telling you, like when someone tells me a secret, that stays with me for the rest of life. I don't care if you do me wrong. Like I'm not telling you who told me. Like he already gets mad at me when he's like, "Who told you?" When I should tell him stuff, who told you this? Why don't you tell me? I was like, you already like, you know. Well, anyways, nice cap. Um, but I was told it was gonna be two roster changes. One of them was gonna be loading because like there was issues, or like the main one was gonna be Knicks with courts or loading with courts, but depending on how the team feels.
So
Like
first, so real quick, you replaced who on the
I
roster?
replaced courts and then everyone else stayed. But coming
Okay.
onto the team, it was like the coaching staff wanted to remove Knicks. I really didn't have an issue with Knicks, but when I joined the team, he really wanted to like square like our
You
weird
want to
like
square
beef.
up?
No, like squash, not square.
What the fuck? You joined the team and Nix is
Squash. No,
taking
no,
it
no, no,
outside.
no, no,
He's
no.
a fucking
Squash.
savage. I like him.
Squash. It was just like a kind of a like I know what he meant by it because like we had like a weird past. Even though I respected him, like I would go to invite as obviously as a viewer. I don't care. Shut up, idiot. Dumbass, don't care. And I would just walk with like Han and Nix and all of them and Mint. Like those guys were like my boys when I was just on a different pro league team like LG whatever it was. We would walk and we'd like eat at restaurants and all that stuff. But I don't know. For some reason, we built like this weird interaction, and like I still respect him to this day. It's just like the things that I hear from what people say. It's like people think I had control of what was happening. I was just tagged along. Stage 3, like me and loading started having issues, which really got escalated. It was like it would be over simple stuff. It'd be like over like stupid stuff would happen. Like I'll be honest, our kitchen was pretty much the cleanest kitchen in all of NAL. We had people doing like we had people actually like respecting where
Not
we
the
live.
clean
Like
kitchen.
yeah, so like I mean the house was pretty clean except for our room. Like whatever you do in your room is whatever. But um everyone like respected the areas that we shared. But like if something small was in a place, like people would get pissed off and like ruin people's mood. Like at one point, I ended my stream because someone was like, "You started the dishwasher early. You're supposed to only use it once a day." And it's like, dude, I have all my prep meal containers in there. What are you talking about? Like, dude, like that is one of the most idiotic things I've heard. Like
Were
I
you
was like,
guys on a fucking like? Wait a minute.
no, that's
Are
what
you
I'm
guys on
saying. It's
like
like
a fucking budget?
I
Like you can
I
only run the fucking water once a day. When you take a shower, everybody showers at once. You can't use the water more
bro,
than this 30 minutes a day.
it's like it was issues. So it's like I just didn't understand like what it was, and then it escalated and for the stupid stuff. And I squashed beef with loading an invite, and then like things took a turn. You're kind of blurry unless it's my connection, but things took a turn, and then like I remember a tweet saying like it was kind of funny because like He has said like Mirage is going to do better without Tommy, and it's like they're still the same shit because the issues that underline with Mirage isn't from me. It's always been issues, and one of the main issues when I joined the team is we were living in the past a lot. It was like, okay, what can we do to replicate stage one? Stage one is different from
You
stage
need
three.
hot and cold. Bring him
Stage
back and
stage
dream.
one stage one is different from stage three.
This
Stage
motherfucker said, "How do we replicate stage one?" They had the
yeah
fucking MVP of the league.
yeah. It's like
What?
it's like they were, but yeah. So Garros or Christian's talking about it. The house was extremely tense for no reason. You know, it's actually like it was tense for no reason. Like I don't want to bring Dream into this, but at some points, people like Dream's wife was there, and they would ask her a question like, "Who left this cup?" She's like, "Dude, I'm just here visiting my husband. Don't get me involved in any of the issues." Um, and it's like
Who who
I'm
is it?
no, no,
I
cut it
need to
off,
know
cut
who
it off,
these
cut it off,
people
cut it off.
are.
I'm not telling anything. I'm not saying it. Cut it off.
It
Move
has
on.
to be Knicks.
No, 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 no. Listen, I'm not saying anything, but move on. So it's like we
Who the
we
fuck's cup is this, Tommy?
it was literally stupid
What am I
stuff.
hearing?
So it was. And it wasn't even my cup; it was Nix's cup, and I felt bad for him because like he left it right by the coffee machine, and it really needed no issue. And like we were having amazing scrims before invite, and this is where a lot of the issues started going down. But rewind when I first started trying for the team, we had Dream on entry, Nix on breach, and I felt like that was the best iteration of when I joined the team. But then Nix wanted to play Sledge, and I was on entry, first entry, even though I'm not a first entry. But I was sucking up, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care about my sets. I'll do it. And
Okay.
then, we were one round away from inviting Sweden. Grixer gets that 1v1 win, and a lot of things go down from there. But before Christmas, we were having some of the best scrims ever. That's when like I was having a lot of fun with the team, a lot of fun with loading, a lot of fun with Nyx, and all of them. It was literally peak scrim Mirage. It was literally peak scrim Mirage. We thought we were winning invite. And then we come back. People had it scrimmed on their PCs because their PCs at Mirage House. They didn't scrim on it for 2 weeks. They weren't playing on it for 2 weeks. They come back. They're weak in the muscle memory movement. It was just like a whole shit show. We had like 2 team talks during it. And then this is when Beast Coast is forming the roster. So we were
Yeah.
scrimming Yardy, and we were just smoking his pack. It was not even a chance for this kid. Like Yardy was crying because at one point, because like they had already flown out Beast Coast, and Yardy was like, "You guys are gonna get me dropped already." Um, nice Fox, don't care. No, I'm joking. Every day scream Mirage. Hey, listen, I put up my numbers. But yeah, so we lost we lost the invite quals against Eska and them, and then I'm crying because like that's like my fourth invite that I'm failing to make, and I'm like, dude, like I really want invite. Like that is what I play for. And I see everyone form up in the garage, and I'm like, and it was just me and Christian in the household left and loading, and then I don't know what was happening. So I go to my room,
With
I come back.
Dream, was Dream there too?
Yeah, everyone was in the garage. I thought like I was like, all
Okay.
right, yeah. I was like,
Was
even
it
though
like making out?
no, 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 like everyone's in the garage talking, and then I thought I thought I was dropped. Um, and then I was like,
Once you go into the garage with Knicks, you
no,
don't
no, no,
come
no, no.
out.
Everyone was talking, and then that's when the plotting started happening. Like that's when moves were
Knicks is
being made.
standing there with a fucking candle in the corner.
Li- Listen, I'm not. I don't want people to roast anyone because, like, I'm not here for people's reputations to get like mocked or anything. Because I don't want people to be like, "Yo, Tommy's an idiot." But like, that's what happened. Like, Christian is here. Everyone went to the garage, and I was like, I'm dropped. I was like looking at Christian. Yeah, go to the garage. Just it's fine. I'm dropped. And then I go to the garage. Everything's
Wait,
weird.
so you're dropped or
No, 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 no.
Christian?
I felt like I was dropped because everyone's in the garage without me. So I ended
So
up
they're
going to the
meeting.
garage.
Hold on. So
Listen,
there's 3 guys. Well,
no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
kind of. I gotta get this in my head. So they're in the garage with the lights off and the candles lit.
No, 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 no. Garage is on, bro. Garage is
Okay,
on.
so in my mind, in the garage, lights off, candles lit. You and Christian are just sitting in the house. You're like, what the fuck are these guys doing in the garage?
Yeah.
Christian is the head coach of the team. So
Well,
they just are randomly going to the garage like, listen, somebody's dropped. They're
well,
like, don't we need to
wa-
talk to Christian? He's the coach. Like, Christian's dropped then. Like, what?
yeah. So That was right after we lost SI quals, Christian. That was right after the we lost SI quals. Yes, it was literally right after. Literally, it was nighttime because remember we were playing 2 games. You know, we beat Quartz the first map, and then we lost the last, and then we lost in a losers bracket. And then TSM was lucky they didn't play us because like Mirage had a history of beating TSM. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, we everything happens. I'm like, yeah, Christian, you can just go to the garage. Bro. I feel like I'm dropped, and then that's when like the scheming started happening. And mind you, I was not part of you're getting dropped or I'm getting dropped or anything. Um, so I get told like, all right, the move is going to be loading, and I agreed with it. I won't say who initiated it.
Wait,
I
was
said
loading in this meeting?
no,
Was
no.
loading
Okay,
in the
so
garage?
after the meeting, we played. After the meeting, like
Thought
everyone was
loading was in the
yeah,
conversation
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
them.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that's what happened. So everything like after the conversation. Listen, relax. Let me get it out.
Okay.
Sorry, but so we played a lot of League of Legends. I didn't really play that much because like I played it when I was young and I just got annoyed of it. But so we played League of Legends and I got told via text message like, hey, the move is loading. I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, I agree with it. I'm not disagreeing with it. And I was like, you know, I wasn't the one bringing it up. I don't want to be the one that joined the team and ruined the team because like that's what people made it out to seem. And the person that messaged me, he knows like he's the one that messaged me, and I'm not gonna burn his bridge and say he did it. But I was not the one that initiated. Then I
Well,
get told the next day.
I'm assuming Nyx is the only one with actual control to drop somebody. So we'll just assume it's Nyx.
You assume it's one of the three players. Just assuming one of the three. I
It's
won't.
Nyx. Okay, continue.
So I agreed with it, and then I get told the next day, like, okay, we're also moving out with without Knicks.
Oh!
It was coming from the org. Um,
So Nyx dropped loading and the org dropped
no, 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 no,
Nyx?
no, no. Don't make assumptions. It was not Knicks. Like I'm not saying who dropped loading.
Okay.
Listen, it was one of the three. Like I said, everyone was on board. Everyone was
Yeah.
on board for dropping loading, and I agreed with it. Like I was the last one to agree with it, and
Yeah.
then the org's decision was to drop Nyx. This is where everything like turns around. Like I actually was rooting for Nyx during that time. Like during the end of Mirage, his time on Mirage during with me with stage one, I was actually really getting I was actually really like getting close with him. I was growing like a relationship. We were getting better. We're talking. We weren't being weird. It was more so like okay, like hey, like business aside, like this guy's chill.
Yeah.
So it was like I wanted him to join Astralis. I really want like they were trying out Astralis. He was playing with them during like at nighttime playing ranked. With them like they're really good friends because Shuttle and them teamed with him and all that stuff because Astralis was originally DG and such. And I really wanted him to join Astralis. I was really rooting for him to join Astralis, and people were like, "Oh, dude, you hate Nyx." I was like, "No, like, dude, like I wanted him to stay there." So like during that time, like
I
Nyx was
mean,
still
as a
staying.
competitor, I was also rooting for Nyx to make Astralis. I will say that.
So
We were
during
all,
that
in a way, everyone was rooting for Astralis to pick up Nyx.
um So, and I promise you to, like, I'll say it this one time. I promise on God, I was rooting for Knicks for Astralis because, like, I
Yeah,
don't
me
want to
too.
wish,
I swear to God, I was.
bro. I hate you. But yeah. So it went from there to a point where he had asked us respectfully if he could stay in the house because he doesn't want to move all the way back and then move all the way, uh, back to Astralis if anything happens. So I was like, yeah, I'm fine with him staying here as long as he doesn't input with our team decisions and such. And then this is where, like, no offense to Christian, he takes a long break while we were having two roster moves. Like, we had a lot of shit go
What do you mean a
down.
long break?
Well, so he had a break, and then a lot of the shit hit the
Like a
ceiling. So this,
holiday, or he's just
no, no,
like,
no, no, no. It was, because that was during invite, right? When
yeah.
TSM won, like he took a 2
So
week break,
during,
which
so to be clear, during the longest like dry period of the game, like invite, if you're not a team, instead of grinding and trying to get
no,
better,
okay,
you
okay,
guys are
okay.
on a
No,
break.
listen, listen, listen. I forgot a part. We had picked up. Remember, we had picked up Melted and Newers. So it was me, Benji. Okay, I kind of skipped a part. I kind of skipped the part. So the org came, or a couple people came up to me within the org as well, saying, "Oh, we want to drop Benji." I said, "No, I think Benji deserves another chance." I
Yeah.
think the environment last stage was not comfortable for him to be. Sorry guys if I'm confusing you guys. If he edits this, it's fine. But yeah, so before Christian, like honestly, I wanted to break, and my break was streaming the invite. We had Melted and Newers, and Dream's contract was coming up, and I asked the org with respect. I was like, hey, renew the contracts now. It's better, just in case nothing happens. And like
Right.
they kind of took a long time with it, and then. We were scrimming already. Like it was 3 weeks of us scrimming, or 2 weeks of us
Was there
scrimming.
any reason? Was there any reason given to why the org just didn't sign Dream and Newers then?
Yeah, so I don't remember. I just know I don't remember the exact. I just know Mirage was 100% going to sign Dream and Newers, and then I was told literally this is where it gets crazy. Remember when I saved Benji's job because I was like, yo, he deserves another chance. This is when I'm about to get dropped, and you heard this before stage one. I was gonna get dropped, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what the hell is happening? And then and then this was a part one of me getting dropped, and then it was cut because this is where OXG took this is where OXG took Dream and Newers. And
Yeah.
then this is where Christian was like mid break and everything's hitting the fan. And like I was like, Christian, you got to come back. He's like, dude, chill. He's like, dude, chill. Like everything's good. Like we'll find players. And like honestly, like we were just like worried and like
Well,
it was
rightfully so, because then your team is, or not your team anymore, but they've now gotten last place every stage and
yeah.
laughable, like become the laughing
So
stock of the league.
it was me, Dream, Ben, Melted, and Newers. Um, Newers and Dream leaves. So it's me, Melted, and Ben. And remember, this is the off season, as in after the year. That means you can make as many moves as you want, as long as you have one or two people left, or whatever it is, or
Yep,
if you have
too.
the spot. Um, so and then this is where Nick's like approached me and Ben, and I was like, and Christian can back me up on this because I talked to him about this. I was like to him, if you want to join the team, you got to go through tryouts. Like we'll see if you fit. And like it felt like from when I was telling him that, he felt like it was a shot because like I was like the new guy on the team telling him like you got to go through tryouts, and a lot of the things that I was saying, it wasn't me saying it. It was just people telling me to say it because they weren't like he was still living at the house because like he thought he was gonna get the Schwab spot, and then this is the time where Schwab's went with Forrest, so they thought I was the one being a dick when I was just being told what to tell him. And then that's when like me and him like he thought I was making the moves where so I was just being told what was happening, and that's where he had the like he got kind of uncomfortable with me and stuff, and I was like, that's fine, like it's how a team is ran. Like I don't want to go into the same stuff that my ex at roster had, where we just didn't try people and bring them back on. um and then that happened, and then I actually wanted Razor, so we picked up Razor, we had Melted, we tried out. So I get dropped again. I get dropped. So I got approached. I got approached from from coaching staff, and I was told, "Hey, like let's drop Ben and let's pick up Kilo and Swalen." And I said, "No, it's fine if we pick up one of them." But as of right now, I don't want to drop Ben. I said
I'm
this.
so
I
sorry to
say I
interrupt you.
good. Good.
I'm very confused here
Yeah.
because it seems like on every team, XSET included, when there's roster changes being made, they're just coming to you.
Yeah. So
But
the thing is
but you have a coach, you
oh no
have
no no
management.
like the coaching staff with me, like the coaches were asking me, so they were like to me, I mean, yeah, I'm all over the place because it was all over the place, bro. In that span of 2 weeks, everything was all over the place, bro.
Okay, so in this
You cannot
instance,
organize everything.
the roster is you, Melted, and Ben. Newers and
Yes,
Dream leave for OXG.
yes,
For some reason, your org never really specified they were not able to sign Newers and Dream when you wanted them to. So you lost them
yes,
because of that,
yeah.
right?
Like you
So
guys
if
don't understand.
Mirage, the
It's
org, could
yeah.
have signed them when you asked them to, and how long did they have to sign them?
Well, you got to remember, you got to sign them as a content creator, and I don't. And
No, you
Mirage
don't.
didn't.
Why do you have to
Well,
sign them as content creator?
because you can't sign people until the transfer window
You
opens.
can sign them, you just can't. You
Listen,
can sign a player whenever you want if you're eligible to sign them. They won't officially be on your roster until the transfer period opens, but you can sign them before that. They just cannot officially be on your team until the window. Like, we traded, like, we bought out Gunner way before the window opened, but obviously Gunner was on our team. We just couldn't,
yeah.
it couldn't be official until that period.
So I was told something else from a lot of the orgs. Listen, I don't deal with management. I'm just telling you what I was told. Like I don't want people to be like, Thomas, this is confusing, because like I am confused by this till this day. Because like I'm telling you, through that 1 month from February 1st, or from actually January 25th, from like before invite until I was off of Mirage, or like until not even off, until like the team was me, Marm, and and the rest, I was
Yeah.
confused. Like I'm telling you, a lot of things were happening. Like I
Hmm.
was hit with, okay, if Dream was gonna be like, I was hit with, even with Dream and Newers on the roster, I was gonna be dropped. Like, and even though I saved Ben's ass twice, with no offense, like I wasn't expecting him to save my ass. I was just expecting people to be like, hey Tommy, we want you to be fixing up on this part, instead of just saying you're dropped. And then it went from like me not getting dropped to losing two players, and then you remember, like you have like what, 11 days to find two players, and like
Right.
we had our roster set up. It was like me, Melted,
So
Newers, Dream, Ben. It was like we were trying to pick and choose and find out the best people. And then Force had got picked up, DP, or I forgot who else got picked up. A lot of, or Exa had made all that new changes. Everything was like, and then at this point DNA is the analyst. So like we were just like trying to like,
I'm
like not
also
rock the ship.
confused. So I'm also confused by how Mirage do contracts, because with almost every player I know of in esports, when your contract expires, there's a grace period where you basically have the right to refuse, like right of refusal, which means if Dream becomes a free agent and OXG offered Dream $5,000 a month, as an example, right? You as Mirage have the opportunity to match that offer. That's what right of refusal is. It's like a window, 90-day window or whatever, of your contract ending. As far as I'm aware, that is a very standard. I think I've had that in every team I've ever been on. Like, that's a very standard thing in contracts. And Dream is like, I want you to think about this.
Dream is the best
Dream,
player it was on the Mirage,
well,
100%.
not only that, Dream is the only player that I have ever heard of in Siege, at least in North America, who just left their team in free agency for just nothing back, just left the team in free agency. I have not heard of any other player literally just being a free agent and leaving.
Yeah,
So
so
I don't know how that's possible, especially because Dream was clearly the best player on the team. And with Mirage taking so long to sign players, why on earth would Mirage ever let Dream's contract get to a point where it was ending? Why would you know he's your best player? Why wouldn't you just extend his contract as soon as you can? What's the delay?
listen, like I said, I'm just telling you what I dealt with and what I was told. Like I don't want people to be like, "Yo, Tommy's the one strategizing this," or "Tommy's the one, with all this information." Listen, during this period, all these things happening, I'm still confused by it, because like I'm telling you, I was going through shit. I was being benched, unbenched, benched again, and then unbenched. And it's like, and then you'll understand the story. So like, all that stuff happens, but right before I pick up Marm, I get benched again, and then that's when I was like, dude, I'm trying my best to get us out of this dirt hole, because I had told Christian, I was like, yeah, I don't want to pick up Kilo and Swalen right now. One of them is fine. If we don't want to pick up Marm, one of them is fine, because we're the only pro league team that picked up Marm. And then he's like to me, "Yeah, okay, that's fine." After that, the next day I go to Smith's with Christian. He's like, "Yeah, the team wants to move on without you." I'm like, "Dude,
No
what?"
way, he told you in the middle of Smith. Thomas is dropping to his knees in the middle of the chip aisle.
So no, it was like in his car. But he was like, "Dude," I'm like, "Dude, like I don't want to even be at Smith's anymore. Like if I'm gonna grocery shop, I
I don't
don't
want
want
to be
to."
at Smith's either. What am I shopping for groceries? I gotta pack my bags.
It's like I don't like, exactly. So I was packing my bags.
Why
I
did he
was like,
take you into the garage?
so I packed my bags, and I talked to Flynn, and I talked to Carl, and Mirage was really, and that's why people will give Mirage a lot of hate, but I don't give them hate really, because they had my back during that time. They're like to me, "Yo, like this is stupid. Like you're actually like one of the ones trying to help us get us out of this mess. Like, and why are people trying to bench you because you have a different way of
So is
thinking?"
it
Like,
so okay, so here this is where I have another question coming up. So was this Guerra making this decision to bench you here? Or is he relaying the information from the team, which I assume Guerra had
I listen. I think
had
it. So
say in?
I noticed it because they. I'm telling you, you notice when people are weird, because like when I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these kids, they're kids. They don't know how to like keep their emotions locked and keep it away from business and their personal life. Because when they're living with people, they mix business and their life. Like they mix the business with like friendship. So whenever something happens business wise, they they're not they feel like they're not friends anymore, and they don't want to like feel weird. Like so it's like I noticed things were wrong, and then I go to Smith's, and Christian's like, yeah, like they want to move on without you, and we're gonna bring on Kilo and Swain. And I was like, dude, I just said no to them, and I'm the one like I'm literally. I'm saving people's ass because like I feel like this roster can do something, and this is where like my mental was shot because the moment this happened, I was like unmotivated, but I like pushed myself because, and you'll know why I pushed myself. I told you earlier on before we started the stream, and I'll tell you like in a moment. So after I got unbenched because Mirage saved my ass, it was Carl, Flynn, and Christian. I literally messaged Marm. I was like, Marm, good luck this season. I won't be there. And then I got unbenched, and then the org is like, yo,
So
we want
Marm joining the team didn't even know that they were benching you.
no. So yeah. So I
So
told
then it was Ben and Melted who benched you. They're the only two people on the team then.
no. It was Ben. It was Ben, Melted, and Razor. On the team because remember we picked up
Okay.
Razor because he got dropped from or he left Xset because he didn't like I don't know what happened with I don't know what happened with the iteration of Xset with him but he felt he was more comfortable with Mirage. um but like I said, that happened, and like I said, like you know me, I don't care if I get dropped, but and because when I come back, I'm going to, I'm not gonna treat you like an idiot and say you dropped me because Razor is here, Marm is here, Benji's here, and even Melted, who like I blocked because he was just saying dumb shit to me in FPL, like it was just stupid. Anyways, they'll tell you like
Melted
during
is,
that,
to be fair, a very awful player.
so they'll tell you I wasn't being weird to them after I got unbenched, um, and then it was stupid. And then the Mirage helped me out. Mirage was like, "Yeah, you're not getting dropped, bro. Like you're the one trying to help Christian get us out of this mess. Like you're literally giving players another chance while they're not giving you a chance. Like I saved Benji's ass 3 times within a month. I was like, dude, like I'm trying to help this guy get better, and I'm getting dropped. Um, and then that happened, and then this is where like my life takes a turn. My uncle, who I got really close with after my dad passed away, he got sick, and I've never seen him in my life before. Like I live in America without any like uncles or aunts, but like I have cousins, but they're not like my first cousins. And then my mom got diagnosed with cancer, and then before the season starts or during the season, before the season starts, my grandmother or my grandfather died, and then my grandmother died. So I was dealing with a lot of shit. So
Right.
I was like to myself, listen, bro, like if it's either you be a sad motherfucker and don't do anything, or you be a sad motherfucker with a purpose. So I would get up, and you can ask Christian. I would go walk around the block 4 or 5 times, lose weight, come back. I had a purpose. I wanted to do something. If I stayed between four walls, I was gonna like honestly, I thought like I thought I was gonna be really messed up in the head, and I don't want to say what I was gonna like. Thank God, like I wasn't really messed up. So I was just dealing with a lot. So I made my own meals. I did this. I did that. I got better, like being a vocal person. I was still like loud. Don't get me wrong. I'm loud now. Like I haven't changed. It's like, I'm just a loud person. I get there from my dad, and I don't care if anyone
Yeah, yeah.
hates that. But people during. I mean, Fox is here. Anyone who like knew me or saw me on stage during that Mirage season still seen the fire in me when I was on stage. My teammates would get sad emotional when we're down 5-1. I'd be like, guys, teams get back down, teams get back up from here. Like it does not matter who this is. Like get back in here, get back in here. Like it's time. Like we could do this. We could take this to the next level. Like it's just like I felt like I was the only one doing it. And then later that season, it was me, Melted, Marm. We make the decision of dropping Ben and Razor. Razor, I love him and stuff, but like there was a lot of stuff happening with him, and I really felt bad for him. And I felt like there was a lot of rumors, people saying Razor's plotting against you, and I was like, I don't care. Like it is what it is. People, Razor's right. People were depressed that stage, and it was a tough decision. And I think Razor still deserves to be in Pro League. I think like he deserves a chance. Um, and then it went from me getting dropped. We go to the major. I'm watching you guys play, or I'm watching Charlotte play at the major and stuff, Charlotte. And then I get back to my house in Michigan because I was like, okay, like, all right, I'm gonna chill here. I'm gonna practice here. I'm gonna fly back to Vegas on May 29th. I get told right after we're scrimming, the team wants to move on with you. And I was at that time scrimming with Asian, Marm, Melted, Ben, and we were smoking kids. And I was like, oh,
So this
okay.
was okay. So, all right. So before you go off to the major, the team decides, and I want to backtrack a little bit because I have some issues and I just want to clarify. So
Or
before you
Kento, Kento,
guys,
Kento, Kento. I'm
so
sorry,
before
Kento.
you guys go to the major, where you're not playing, you guys are just watching. You make the decision to drop Ben and Razor, correct?
Ben and Razor, and then
I know that they knew this because if I remember correctly, Ben had even taken all of his shit and gone home, so they were even told that they were dropped.
Yeah,
so,
could have been something
okay,
Asian. Yeah, you're right.
And you were scrimming with Asian, and I think you even scrimmed with Gunner. You scrimmed with Gunner at one point though too.
Okay, so my issue with Melted during this period of time, he just wanted to pick up Kento and Wimpy and call it a day. And I was like, no, we have a month. Let's take our chances. Let's try people out. My favorite combo, even though I think Mohesi and I think it was Asian we tried out with him, or I don't know who it was good. My favorite combo was Asian and Gunner. I said this will be one of the best teams. Like,
well, no shit, anybody would have said that. They were like the two up and coming like underagers. So everybody thought like those were the obvious people to be next up.
Yeah, even I forgot your part for it, but we even tried out Forrest and like he joined Astralis. Like obviously that was smart. But Age. So my favorite one was Agent Gunner because like when we were on the roam, these motherfuckers were talking to me. I had people telling me, "All right, yo, let's do this. All right, Tommy, yo, I'm ready for you to tell me
now,
when."
I will say I don't think Gunner would have joined.
No,
anyway,
he would have.
He got the PB offer, but
yeah,
you could have still got Asian and like Mo or something,
or Kento, like you know how it was. And so we tried out Asian. I think it was Asian Wimpy or Asian Kento that day, and it was me, Marm, Melted, and then right after the scrim, I was like, dude, I could have just been told in the morning. Why am I waiting till the night after I scrim to be dropped? Um, like I like I said, I don't like. I'm just saying this to say it because like I don't give a shit about my career anymore. Like I don't care about people hating me or not. It's just like it's truth. I get told, before I scrim, Yardy's like, dude, I'm hearing you're dropped. I'm like, Yardy, are you dumb, you idiot? I'm about to scrim. It's like, no, dude, people are telling me you're dropped. So Asian joins up with me, Kento, Marm, and Melted, and we scrim. It was a good
I couldn't
scrim.
imagine being a player trying out for this team, by the way. We're like every week, oh yeah, this guy's dropped. No, they're back. Come on. Nope. Actually, you're dropped again. Can you go ahead and leave? Like, imagine trying out for this team. Like, you're trying to get people to join your team, and you don't even know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, so this happened, and then I was like, it was literally this time at night, probably 11, because like just 3 more hours later, and Christian's like, yeah, Tommy, we want to move on without you. I'm like, okay. I did not.
So I want to stop you here too. Because, and I know you have more to say, but I have to keep just making sure we don't lose track of where we're at in the story. So, you guys try out people before you go to the major where you're not playing. Nobody is playing at the major. You try people out. Ben is told he's benched, takes all the shit, goes home. Razor is told he's benched, he's already home. So, nothing happens in that instance. You go to the major where, again, you are not playing. You come back. And then all of a sudden, you're benched.
I'm dropped, not benched. Dropped.
All right, dropped. But Ben went to the major regardless, even though he still went to the major and hung out with people. So somehow the team made the decision to keep you, drop Ben, drop Razor. Everything's fine. You're trying out people. I remember speaking to Asian. Asian even thought the team with you on it was pretty solid. Like, he thought you guys could be okay. Because I remember talking to Asian at this time because I told Asian that I was going to retire after this stage, and Asian was obviously a player we were interested in. So I was also talking to Asian, letting him know my own situation. So
Asian saw me at the major and said, Tommy, I can't wait to team with you. He was like, I liked scrimming with you. Like, people said you were an annoying idiot, but like you know about the game. Like, you're not what people said. And like, he wasn't kissing ass. He was just like, dude, I'm honestly thinking like, you know, like you're making me comfortable joining this team if I do.
So how And Christian just said that in the chat, people said that you were being ridiculous at the major, which, to be honest, doesn't fucking matter because you weren't playing the game. But
Yeah.
Thomas could have been running up and down the street naked. Why would that matter for the roster you chose that you want to play the game? So somehow Thomas goes to the major on the team, comes back from the major, they didn't practice, didn't play a game that entire time, he's dropped.
I mean, with no offense to fuck it, fuck the offense, Christian. That was just straight up just bullshit. I will tell you straight up, Citizen is right there. I was with Citizen almost every day. I was with people almost every day, and they asked me what was happening with the roster, and I told them we just benched 2 people and we're looking at players because other players were telling people that they had tryouts with Mirage. I was not saying anything ridiculous at the major. I was just stating what was happening with our team, which everyone does at the major. Which everyone says at the major.
When all the pros get together, they always talk. That's what pros do. When you get together with a bunch of dudes who play video games, play Rainbow 6 hours, 12 hours a day, believe it or not, there's not a lot to talk about outside of fucking Rainbow 6. So what do you talk about? You talk about what the fuck's going on. You're not going to be like, well, did you look at the stock market earlier? Drip. Well, yeah, I did. Supr. It looked really cool. Like, we're not fucking talking about that. We don't know what the fuck is going on.
Rexton was there. I mean, Melty could have spewed the thing and said I was saying something, but I don't think he was because Christian said Tommy or Marm said it. But like, dude, the whole time I was with Melted and the XF film guys who also work for Floyd Money Mayweather. For the first 2 days, we were literally on scooters, and I was literally bruising up my ankles and shit. We were just riding around the city. Like, I'm gonna talk to the Mayweather guys and tell them, dude, I'm control of this roster. But like, no. But
I will say, so for those who aren't here right now, Guerra and Marm are arguing in chat. Guerra said he didn't go to the major and that he was thinking about who you guys were trying out. Then, when they got back, Marm and Melted told Guerra that you were being a dumbass at the major and they wanted to drop you. Marm said that her and Melted came out to scrim and that Guerra himself recommended they drop Thomas and bring back Nyx.
And just say this, Rexon says Ben pulled the heist at the major. He says he's my boy, but G says that guy is a negotiator. Ben, you got away with a lot of words. So what you were told, Christian, was a lie because whatever was happening at the major, I was not in the room to talk about it.
And well, Marm is saying that Christian is lying right now. Marm is saying, and I have some questions about Christian because no offense to Christian, you seem to be the most incompetent motherfucker I have ever seen. How you have been on this organization for 2 years is beyond me. And I'll get to my reasons why. But Marm is literally just saying in chat right now that when she came back, her and Melted went to scrim, and Guerra told Marm that Nyx was going to scrim and that you were going to be benched, and he thought that was the move. And the reason why I am bringing Guerra into this is because you're telling me all these stories, everybody's dropping everybody, they're going into the garage. Guerra lives at this fucking house with all of you. He is the coach of the team. He is the adult of the team. He is the person in charge of the roster. How does Guerra somehow manage to never be involved in any of this? He is the person who's making these calls. I'm not the coach of the Sonics, but there is not one fucking decision that has ever been made on my Rainbow Six Siege team, and it is my team. I've gone from making the team, player coaching the team, I'm now the general manager of the fucking team. There's not one fucking thing that has ever happened on this team that was not ran by me. Because these motherfuckers, they know that I will do what's best for the team and for them. They respect my decision making, and they know that I'm a leader. I can help them along the way. Christian is involved in none of this. You are the coach of the team. You're the leader. How is there no decision making? Somehow Christian is always left out. What are you doing as the coach? People are going in the fucking garage, plotting. You're just sitting there with Thomas. I wonder what they're doing in there, Tommy.
I will. Okay, so I will say, Christian, during the time that like I joined Stage 3, he was really helping me out a lot. Like I still think Christian's a good coach when he's actively doing it. But there's so much shit going on with the Mirage roster. that like it was just too much to hold for him being a coach. Like I'm gonna be honest, no one had ever free time without an issue. There was always issues on people's free times. People just never had a moment to breathe. Like I would, my breathing session would be working out, like walking around the block, or me and Christian going to the gym, letting off some steam.
Right.
There was always an issue. So I don't want Christian to be here and taking all the blame. And like I'm not
I'm
the
not
one that
blaming.
asks you.
I'm not
Yeah,
blaming
yeah.
Christian.
I don't
I'm
want you.
just
I
pointing
just
out
don't want
things
to.
that to me are ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't want Christian to be like, "Oh, Thomas like started up this whole thing," because like I'm just here stating my facts, and Seth has an idea about what's happening, and it's coming to you. But like I will say, during the stage 3 time, Christian was really helping me out and defending me a lot of the times. Because like I honestly, it felt during, like I said, beginning of Mirage, I just didn't have a place to speak
Why
until
is
like
there a constant? Okay, so here's a question I have for you. Who on the team is Christian constantly defending you against? Why? You just joined the team stage 3.
yeah.
How all of a sudden is there a big fucking fight when you just joined the team?
This is where we go back to a statement where we were living in the past, and when not as in we, but the team of Mirage, they're pretty much blind during the season. They thought like picking me up would just be like better Han, like be a Han cold, but I was just a better, like I was way better than Quartz. I'm like 100 times better than
And
him.
way better than hot and cold.
Fine, you could say we're on the same level, but it that would the role that Han Cole played wasn't the role I played. Han Cole played whatever the fuck he wanted.
I
I
mean,
was
that
told to
also
play.
that also doesn't make sense. To design a team like, okay, we used to have hot and cold, so now we need you to be hot and cold. It's like, dog,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
Thomas.
Tommy. Yeah,
I can play how I play, but that guy's the fucking MVP of the league, bro. You're
yeah,
not getting an MVP of the league on Mirage.
yeah.
I'm here to help you guys to try to be me, but I can't play like hot and cold.
And the thing is, I wasn't playing the roles that I was playing on Xset, where my numbers was showing off. I was playing first entry, where like I haven't played that since I was on Accelerate, like when all that stuff happened. So it's like it was just weird. And then like that's why I really love Dream, because like me and him had an understanding where like when I first tried out for the team, and I was on Sledge and Nix was on Breach and Dream was on first entry, because even though Dream doesn't care two shits about stats, he was just doing his job, and his
Right.
job he always does it. So like he said, that iteration would have probably been better, and we probably would have made Sweet and Invite. And like I said, I wasn't there to say, oh, all the progress of Mirage made for Sweden and Invite was Tommy. A lot of the progress that was made was because of Han Cole being top 4. And you remember at that time there was no major, so they had a lot of more points. And stage 2 they got 7th, and
Yeah.
whatever it may be. But we're technically just like a couple rounds away from Sweden, pretty much just one, because our
Well,
score
that
against you
one
guys
round
was
where
it
that
was
one round
6-4.
where you guys could have beat us and qualified for invite that one game.
Qualified for Sweden and Invite. And like I said, I don't want people to say Mirage is at fault here. Um, because Mirage the org isn't here at fault. And not once this stream have I said I don't want people to come at me and from Mirage org and tell me I have blamed Mirage org. I have not once stated I have blamed Mirage org, and I have said multiple times Mirage org has helped me out.
Right.
So don't tell me or spew on Reddit that Tommy has said Mirage sucks. I have yet to tell or say something about an org being shitty. The only
Okay,
thing I've said publicly about org being shitty was LG, because they have never sent someone to fucking speak with us.
okay, so I want to just go back. This team or organization is insane. Okay, so Marmalade said in chat, and this is mainly for the people who are listening, not watching, that Christian felt that Mirage needed a leader and that you were not a leader, but Christian and DNA, who, for those who don't know, DNA is the manager of Mirage. He's also Nyx's father. Vouched for Nyx as a leader, which is weird to me because Nyx was already on the team. So like they already know if Nyx is a leader or not. They don't need like a vouch. Like he either was or he wasn't. And then Gira is saying, and this is where I think you can catch Gira in a little bit of a lie, Tommy, if I'm understanding this correctly. And I hate to play detective here, but, Gira says I literally asked Marm and Melted, what do you guys think about bringing Nyx back? Is that something we should consider? And they were totally on board and gave me reasons why. So it seemed extremely straightforward. The reason I say it, I think you can catch Garen in a lie here, is because we talked about earlier how Garen was saying that Marm and Melted came back from the major saying that you were acting crazy or like talking crazy. But he just said that he approached Marm and them and said they think that bringing Nyx back to the roster would help the leadership. What do you think about that?
I mean,
So,
like I
to
said,
me, he just admitted that he actually came to drop you and that it was up to him.
so like
They
I
didn't
said,
come to him trying to drop you. He went to them suggesting the idea. And even if he didn't say, and everybody knows this in esports, even if he didn't say, I want to drop Tomas, I'm the coach of this team, I'm dropping Tomas. If you go to people on the team and you introduce the thought, the idea, because remember, they decided not to drop Tomas. Tomas was on the team. They get back from the major. Christian goes to them and says, what do you think about dropping Tomas? Now he's introduced the idea of dropping Tomas. The players he says that to, because he is the coach, now know that Christian wants to drop Tomas. Because why else would a coach ever bring that up to the players? Because he wants to drop Tomas. So now they know Christian wants to drop Tomas. So they say, okay, if that's what you think is best, let's bring Nyx back. It has nothing to do with them saying Tomas was acting crazy. Christian introduced the idea of dropping Tomas.
but like I said, they were persuaded at the major. No matter what you say, Ben
100%. Ben talked
Ben
to them. They're
it,
like,
wa- it
yeah, we
wasn't
like Ben.
it wasn't just Ben. It was probably other people too. And I'm like I said, I'm not here to start drama because I don't. The last thing I need is people coming to me on Twitter and talking to me. Even though I don't check Twitter half the times, I just tweet whatever I want to tweet. And people, hey, Thomas is an idiot. It's like I don't care. It's just like my job doesn't revolve around Twitter anymore. Um, but like I said, it's like there was persuasion. It might have not came from Ben, but it came from other people. Um, they might have not initiated. Christian might have initiated, or Christian might have not initiated. No matter what happened, I was dropped during the major. It doesn't matter what anyone says. The major is what like during the major, and this is what happens. And you can ask anyone that was. Seth, you probably heard stories at me being the bodyguard of like the party,
Yes, I did.
because so let you guys know, Yardi was host Yardi, aka Drip Bullying, aka Adam Klotkin, aka the Big
Not his
Dog.
government.
Um, he was initiating parties, and I respected it. He's like, "Yo, we want to have all the players that come around to Charlotte or playing in Charlotte. We want to have them over at the Airbnb." And I said, "Listen, Yardi, loading and Ben in there. I don't want to be weird. Like I might not come." He's like, "Listen, bro. Like you know you know the difference between business and friendships. You whatever happened, move on." So I went up to loading before everything happened, and I apologized. And I was like, "Yo, this has happened. You know I wasn't the one to initiate things. I just agreed with it." And he understood me. He's like, "Yo, listen, me and you had a lot of beef, but I'm glad we can actually be in the same room without hating each other." And me, I saw Ben there. Ben was drunk. It was fun. It was like I'm hanging out with friends instead of just like people that like left my team or left the team I was on and such. But like I said, going to the point, I was the security guard. More than, let's say the party was 6 hours until 4 a.m. Um, let's say I was up to 4 a.m. or the
Yeah.
party was up to 4 a.m. I was the security guard, literally making sure no one underage was coming in there because I didn't want any underagers to come in there and then the police be like, "Yo, why is there open liquor with underagers in the house?"
So basically, the idea of you acting crazy is not true because you weren't even drinking. You
Yeah,
were
ask
trying to
citizen.
keep people from making fools of
How
themselves.
many? Listen, look at the chat. Deranged was there. Citizen was there. Benji even says it. Tommy was booting motherfuckers out the front door. Can't believe I missed the unofficial official after party. Anyone that says Tommy was tripping is crazy. So anyone saying Tommy was talking shit, who am I going to talk to? Literally, I will tell you exactly who was outside with me for a majority of the time. Virtue. Me and Virtue were literally chit chatting about how many times we've been at majors and I wasn't there playing, and he's always like, "Dude, I want to play one time."
You guys were talking about how in like 6 months they were gonna knock me out of my tournament, my last tournament. That was fucked up, Thomas. You should have
No.
told me.
So to say like I was tripping, I wasn't tripping. I'm Tommy. First of all, tripping retired. That's a joke I haven't used in a while. Um,
But
but a lot of people that were there, it's like, I mean, Giddy was there. You had Arrow there. Everyone that came in, if I knew you were 21 because like you played Siege and stuff, I let you in. But there was underagers there, and I told Yardy, "You're ordering the Uber. Get them out." And Yardy would order Ubers and get them out. Anyone that drank too, Yardy would order them Ubers and get them out. We were running a like good party because we wanted people to get safe. Even when people had cars, we said, get out and drive like get in an Uber and get out.
so
So
okay, so kind of just get us a little back on track here.
yeah.
Basically, what you're trying to say is that the idea that you are acting crazy or anything like that obviously isn't true. Everybody knows that. And which goes back to my point that the idea that Marm and Melted came back and said you are acting crazy is just unequivocally not true.
Yeah, and there's people here to prove that.
And and so I'm agreeing with you, and I also think that Marm is telling the truth because Gira slipped up and even admitted that when you came back from the major, the team came back. Remember, you were not at the house, so
I was in Michigan.
Gira could bring this up without you being there. He brought up to Marm and Melted and said, "You think that the team needed? He thought the team needed leadership. He thought they should bring back you for Nyx. He thought he should bring back Nyx for you."
Yeah.
And so the idea that was painted of him saying, and him is Gira, of Gira saying that everybody came back and said they need to drop you, you have to go, you were acting crazy, isn't true because Gira is the one who introduced the idea. And
Listen,
Asian himself has even told me that he thought that team was good when they were scrimming with you. So the only person who really would probably go against that would be Gira.
Yeah, so whatchamacallit, I don't know what happened. All I'm gonna
Right.
say is
Somehow you had your job. You went to an event where nobody played, so nothing should have affected it. You came back and you didn't have your job anymore.
the only thing I said is because listen, I love Asian and all the guys we tried out, but majority of them were at the whatchamacallit, were there. Like at the Charlotte Major, so they were spreading, like basically saying, "Yo, I'm joining Mirage. I'm joining Mirage." Like like they
Yeah,
were telling
I
people,
thought
"Yo,
I was joining Mirage.
Everyone was like, "Yo, I'm joining Mirage. I'm joining Mirage." So like people would come up to me, "Yo, like, hey, this guy came up to me, Asian or whoever it was, saying they're joining Mirage," and I was like, "Yo, listen, like, we tried him out. I think he's really good, but we're still trying people out." And I think a lot of the reason was like, I still respect Melted even though I blocked him and stuff, but like, I think I think one of the main reasons because we didn't just shoot or pull the trigger on just picking up Kento and Wimpy because I was the main one telling Marm and Melted like we should take our time, we should find out who fits the role basically because we have a month. Even if we take a week break to the major, we still have 2 weeks to fill up those gaps, and that's the longest time Mirage has ever had to fill up a roster during a season. So going back to it, I go back home and I'm like to the guys, all right, and guys and gal, obviously, and I'm like to them, hey, I'll be back June 1st. My flight is June 1st, or
Okay.
it's May 31st or May 30, whatever it was, the end of May, and it was like I was gonna get there 12 a.m. So it was June 1st. So we scrim and stuff, and this is where like after the scrim they tell me I'm dropped, and I'm like, dude, you could have just told me early on, like you guys just wasting my time. And I didn't cry or anything. I'm telling you, I called the audio right away, and or I called, I don't know who I called. I called one of my friends. I think is Mario. He's in here, and I was just laughing. I was just laughing. He's like, dude, what happened? He's like literally one of my best friends now. He lives like 2 miles away from me. I even met him through Siege and he lives 2 miles away from me. Crazy. And he's like to me, dude, what happened? I'm like, dude, I got dropped from Mirage. He's like, dude, what are you talking about? And like I think a lot of the persuasion, like I think them bringing Nyx back on wasn't bad, but I feel like Nyx is amazing at
Nothing.
I
Nix
think
is not a pro league player. If
no.
that has
Listen,
not been clear throughout history, he keeps getting chances. I think he's finally run out of chances. Nix may be somebody who has a lot of passion for the game. He puts a lot of work into the game. Nix is not a pro league player.
listen.
The fact he keeps getting chances is insane.
Listen. I think Nix was really good as an analyst. I think he should have either joined DZ as an analyst or Mirage as like a second coach or whatever it may be. I feel like Nix is really smart, like knowledgeable about the game. But like
Right.
with me on Mirage, I didn't feel comfortable playing with him, and a lot of the reason was because like the whiff that happened, which I compared to Richie when Pixel was talking about or Pixel on BDS. It was like the same instance for me where it's like something's on the line and nothing happened. Like, we didn't win. So I was like, I didn't feel comfortable. I was still willing to give him a shot. But during that, I don't think Melted and Marm were comfortable with trying out Nyx. So he was off the board or off the notepad or off the list, whatever you want to say. And then everything happened and we moved on. And then I get dropped, and then like it is what it is. I just didn't play Siege again. I was asked to join multiple CL teams. I was asked to do like work for a PL team like on the side. I didn't want to. I feel like I wasn't done playing yet, and then I just moved on from the game slowly, gradually. I started working out more. I've lost 42 pounds since like I got dropped from Mirage, like 3 months. Like it's not healthy for me to lose that much, but like I just have been eating right,
Do you Sorry to interrupt you.
good.
Do you think that Nix being like I'm just so confused. Okay, so I'm going to go backtrack a little bit just because I want to clarify some things. So Nix kind of always being in the conversation with Mirage. Seems like he's getting dropped. He's just hanging around somehow, always around. This has to be because of the relationship of his father to the team, right? There's just no other way. Nix's name is just, unless like Christian is just in love with Nix. I just do not understand how Nix's name gets brought up multiple times throughout this timeline as somebody to keep bringing back. Like, the team was not good with Nix. Nix was not good on the team. Why is his name entrenched with, like, you gotta bring Nix back? I just do not think that happens without his father's affiliation to the team. And it's obviously just an opinion.
So I understand your opinion, but I don't think that's fully true. You might be right 20%, but I feel like, and this is what I'll say.
Let me ask you this. Was there ever a player on the team who was like, I think we should bring Nix back? Or was it always suggested by Gira?
No. Like during the first time when Dream and Newers left, I think Benji mentioned bringing them back, and me and Christian told me and told Ben. He said, tell him that like if he wants to join back, he'll have to go through a trial. So that's why I told Nix, because like this is when Christian went on his break. But like I said, when before we or after we dropped Ben and Razor, Melted and Marm said they didn't want to play with Nix, so he was already off a list.
So then they somehow ended up playing with him anyway.
And so, listen, and then this goes back to the thing. I feel like Mirage has this ideology issue where like they feel like one person should control the comms, and I've been saying this since Xset. I've been saying this game is growing to the point where it's getting to a motion where everyone has to talk, but not everyone has to have a voice. But there should be three voices on a team, and they should talk amongst each other. Like someone should say the push, like someone should carry it on. Hey, like I'm doing this. Yo, we should do this. Someone be like, all right, yo, if you're doing this, I can help you with this. But like on Mirage, we didn't really have that. We had it in scrims, we just never translated to game day. And I felt like Marm was getting better with it, and that's why if you guys see on the NAL video, I said Marm is getting better with shot calling, and then right after, she wasn't listening to me when I said that. Right after, she said, I had a conversation with Tommy, and he says I'm getting better with shot calling, but I need to get better within this off season. So yeah, it is. So I don't.
So over this thing, and I don't think we need to keep talking about necessarily the roster changes. I mean, it's clearly a shit show. My question to you, and I think we could get to the org of Mirage a little bit, but I gotta ask about Gira, because and this is a third party view, obviously I've never worked with Gira, I've never been a player. The way he has dealt with this team to me is unacceptable. I know you're gonna say, well, it's not his fault, like, everybody's plotting, but like it is his responsibility.
Yeah.
He is the coach of the team. He lives with the players. It is the coach's responsibility to, one, if there are issues, you have people talk it out. You don't allow people to clearly go scheme on other players. You don't just sit there and watch people scheme. You bring everybody together, because this is what a leader does. Everybody just talks it out. You hash out the issues. You find out whether that's an issue that can be
Sorry, my mom.
No, you're fine. That can be discussed or not. To me, through all of these situations, Guerra is never involved in the decision making. He seems to just be the random person saying Nyx is back.
So the thing is, okay, I see your point, but I feel like Guerra bit off more than he could chew.
Well, then he shouldn't be the head coach, though, Thomas.
No, because there's a lot of things happening within Mirage. Like, I joined a team that was going down, and to anyone that says Christian can agree with that, like, a lot of things were happening. Christian was both the mental coach, he was doing VOD reviews, like,
He's the coach of the team, Thomas.
Yeah, I know, I
It is his
understand that,
responsibility.
but every other team, they have 2, 3 coaches. Like, look at
We
SMG,
don't.
they have
The
Luke,
Sonics
South,
don't.
TSM has Gotcha, Poach, like Data. Every team has 2, 3 coaches. Like, he's doing everything as a coach. So, like, I feel like, yes, you could say at some points he didn't show leadership, because I do agree with that. He didn't have that voice, but like I said, there was too much on his plate to eat. And that's what I feel. And I mean,
The
it is what
number
it
one
is.
responsibility of a coach is to manage the people on the team. And he's clearly not doing that. And this is now over the course of 2 years, where Mirage seemingly are a fucking sitcom. Constant roster moves, constant just scheming behind people's backs, things that just clearly don't make sense. People literally plotting against each other, living in the same house. There's no consistent decision making going on. Marmalade just said in chat, when she was dropped, she was told by Christian she was fine. 5 hours later, Christian told her she was dropped. I know for a fact that they also made the decision to bench Melted, because Melted said, one, very rude things to Marm and very rude things about the owner of Mirage. He was benched because of this.
I don't have
somehow
any...
I'm just, this is me talking now.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow unbenched, and then Marm is gone. If you're going to make decisions, if you are the head coach of a team spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to be in the game, we all make the joke like Mirage, they're broke, whatever, they don't have the money, right? They're still spending a lot of money to be in the league, and they are trusting that investment to somebody who cannot even have people have a civil discussion. And they have been a team for 2 years. He has been a coach of the team for 2 years. Are you kidding?
So like I said, I don't know what happened within the last 3 months. It is September 3rd, so June 3rd. Yeah, 3 months since I've been off Mirage. I don't know what happened that period. I get told a lot of things by some sources, like either within the team or out of the team, and out of the team I already said the source, Drip Bull
Right.
and Big Dog. But like I said, I don't have a clue what's happening, but I will say, like, so the org is pretty much new ownership from like when they had bought it, and I don't think they know a lot about Siege, but I feel like a lot of the responsibilities was left on the coaching staff, and it was just like a shit show. Like, the team was a shit show after stage 1, because they had quartz, they didn't know what to do, all that stuff. And hold on, I just want to say this: anyone who's messaging Filthy saying I shit talked him and ruined his career, dude, what's up with you guys? I didn't say anything bad about Filthy. I just said what happened with our relationship and how we're friends. Um, yeah, so yeah, no, and Christian, like I said, Christian was one of the ones that saved my job from before stage 1. So, like, the management was helping me at points. Like, when I got dropped, I wasn't shit talking Caro. Like, I was even told
Right.
to make. I was even told to. I even was asked to. Um, how do I say this? I was asked to make articles about Mirage and how they were bad to me. They weren't really bad to me. sure, like, because they're a Canadian company, sure, some payments were late. I still got paid. I never had an issue with money. I knew how to spend my
By
money.
the
I
way,
knew.
fun fact for any people out there who just may happen to be paid late, read your contract. If you are paid even 1 day late, your entire contract is voidable.
Well,
Just
I
saying.
understand that, but like with me, like I never had an issue. Like it was like one time because like
No,
my
yeah, no,
bank,
I'm not saying for you.
yeah. So like my bank information wasn't correct, so I had to fix it.
Yeah,
And
not
it
not your
also,
not their fault.
yeah, so it's not their fault. But like it's still like it wasn't checked and stuff like, and that happens. It happened with LG. It happened with Doodle and Hyena. We had to send new bank statements because it's just what it is. Not once have Mirage done me wrong. I will say like I think their decision was dumb. I don't think I was wronged by it. It's a business move. I have to
Right.
respect their business move because at the end of the day, it's like Seth said, they're spending
There's
almost a
nothing
million dollars in two
right.
years
And
or
there's
in a year and a
nothing
half.
anything that we're discussing is nothing personal against anybody affiliated with the org itself. This is us strictly speaking in terms of what it seems like the Rainbow Six Siege roster for Mirage have going on and our opinions on it or what has happened in the eyes of Thomas. It's nothing on the people, right? This is nothing to be said about the people. It's of what's going on. And to me, it's pretty unacceptable from an outside point of view.
I just y'all he already comment. It was so stupid and funny. He's just an idiot, bro. I love this kid. But like I said, like everything that I've stated so far from the point of EXG till now, I don't think I was disrespecting anyone. I think I was just saying my point, and I think Seth
Right.
understands that. And I think the chat took it overboard, but like that's chat, that's the Siege people, that's how it is. Like you got to make it entertaining. And I hope people can learn from this because right now I feel like Siege has there's either two ways in life. It's either you go up or you go down. There's never you can't say you go in the middle because there's really not a point in life. You're just staying the same 24/7. It either goes up or down. Hopefully this can make the ecosystem in Siege up because I'm just giving my experience. I don't. I think Mirage has a chance to grow. I think management is doing fine now. It was doing bad before, but like I feel like they're getting better. Carl is a respectable dude. He flew out. He met me. He shook hands with me. We had dinner. Like he was a respectable man. I still respect him. But a lot of things just happened. It's just business. I got dropped. I don't think it was the right move. I moved on. I found a new way in life. I found, I got like honestly, I got saved from like I went to religion. I started believing in Jesus again. Like it was a lot of like for me, it's a lot of experiences.
Some
Like I'm
good
not,
can always come from the bad, of course.
yeah. So it's like I said, it's you move on, and some things have to come to an end. Who knows? Maybe in 4 months, 100 Thieves messages Yardy, and Yardy's like, "Yo, let's hit it back up."
And then hell freezes over right after.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so I mean, I don't think there's really much to talk about. This has been, I think, the longest podcast or I've ever done. We're almost at 3 hours. I feel like the last hour of this podcast are like extremely entertaining. Like, I felt like Sherlock Holmes reading through all the messages and everything. But in my opinion, from what you've said, for me, I think it's clear that Mirage need to change at the head coaching position.
I think the whole
Um,
roster needs to
but
change. I don't. I think the
I
whole
think
roster.
wiping
No,
the slate,
no
yeah,
offense to
wiping the
Christian.
slate clean
Yeah,
completely.
I think wiping the
I
slate
agree.
clean completely. I think from head to toe, everything should be changed, and it's not a disrespect to anyone, but like for the last 2 years after stage one of 2021, things haven't been going correctly. Um,
Right.
so move on. And I will say this, and Seth can back me up. Have I disrespected anyone this podcast?
I don't believe so. No.
Thank you very
You're just
much.
you're telling your viewpoints of things that happened, and if people who are mentioned in these viewpoints seem to have an issue with it, it's probably on them for doing wrong more than
Yep.
you saying what you thought. So, yeah. Thank you, Thomas, for joining me. I think we can stop here. Let everybody else think what they want. Listen back and make your own decisions. It's a little bit of like a mystery podcast in a way. Um,
A
I'm
lot of
sure.
things were all over the place too. That is true.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody here wishes you the best, whether you end up coming back to Rainbow down the road or you never touch Rainbow again. Nobody here is gonna have anything but good wishes for you. So thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank
joining
you.
me. Thank you for everybody who was watching, and we will see you next weekend with Bodega from Xset will be my guest next Saturday.